welcome to Late Entry with Double Dose. I am Double Dose. This is my co-host, Buck.
Hello.
Since the last episode, so much has changed in the world. We're about to get into it. Before I do, you guys may notice a different theme song. I think YouTube hit us with a copyright for the first one, which makes no sense considering I got the song from a website with no copyright. But we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep trying new ones until something sticks. So at what was it, Saturday night, in the dead of night, Kanye West goes on his annual Twitter crash out, and nobody cares because we have the biggest news I've ever seen in sports, probably in my life. Anthony Davis gets traded to the Mavericks for Luka Doncic. I thought that was literally fake. Like, I was like, I'm sitting in an Uber on the way somewhere, talking to my Uber driver. I said, what? I looked down, I was like, I know I didn't read this correctly. And then I saw it from the ESPN app, and I was like, what?
Yep.
It's so crazy. Everyone thought that Shams got hacked. People were literally tweeting. Shams had to come out and say, this is real, which is exactly what someone who would hack somebody would say. But nevertheless, the most mind-blowing thing that I've literally ever seen before in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's crazy, too, because so many people didn't realize that Mark Cuban was no longer, like, the controlling owner of the Mavs. People were talking about him, and everyone was like, he doesn't own the team anymore. But he had even made a comment before about... Hold on one second. Bella, go over there. Sorry about that. Mark Cuban had made a comment before about if I had to choose between keeping Luka on my team or getting a divorce with my wife, I'd be at the lawyer's office this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I saw where someone had basically texted him and was like, what's going on? And he was like, I'm just as confused as you guys are. I've never seen a trade be kept that quietly before, where literally there was no inkling of it, no one had talked about it, there was no like rumors about it, it was just out of nowhere, boom, bombshell. Crazy. I think that it's interesting because I feel like I know First Take was talking about it today, and they were going a different route than I had thought about the fact that like Luka must have done something to where the Mavs were so over him that they were like, we don't want to pay him a supermax. We're going to ship him out and just make a deal, which I thought was crazy. I know that they're in win now mode. I know they didn't like him not playing defense. I think their GM said something about like defense wins championships. So they got AD to try to do that. So now they've got and they've got centers over in Dallas too. So AD can go back to playing the 4, which I know he wants to do. Crazy. I think that it's a good deal for the Lakers in the sense that Luka is going to be the face. Like, LeBron's on his way out, and now they've got another superstar, like top 5 player in the league at 25, and they get him on a discount because they can't pay him the supermax.
Yeah.
So I think it's at least short term a decent deal for the Mavericks. Although I think that they got fleeced for sure. Long term, I think it's a good deal for the Lakers. I know some people were talking about like championship now for the Lakers. I don't know if it's going to work this season. I know that Bron and Luka both have super high IQ, and I know that people had the same concerns when Luka played with the Mavericks. Or not sorry, Luka, but Kyrie played with the Mavericks. They were saying that like how are two ball dominant players going to work together? They have very high basketball IQ, so I could see them figuring it out, but I definitely think it's going to take some time. You have a different opinion, right, on the trade?
Yeah, I mean, I agree in the sense of, I mean, it's definitely a bombshell. Like, I think that's crazy. I definitely thought it was fake for sure when I first saw it as well. I don't think, like, I saw some people late were, kind of after the initial shock of it all, were saying, oh, short term, this looks good for the Mavericks. I mean, yeah, in the sense of, the Mavericks get a big and Anthony Davis can go back playing the 4. Like, okay, there's some minor level like wins here for the Mavericks. And yeah, I agree with their GM. Defense does win championships, and that is one thing that Anthony Davis does well. I think there are a lot of bigs in the NBA that don't play a lot of defense who are like real big stars. They're, you know, mostly they play defense in the sense of they block the ball and they get, that kind of thing. But true post defense is, I feel like, kind of a rarity in a way in this new age NBA. So I think in the short term, and I mean legit, literal short term, I mean the rest of the season, maybe next year, yeah, you might win a few more games than you would have. But I don't think this is the like slam dunk that the Mavs think it is. I don't think this is the slam dunk that the Lakers think it is either. I think it's definitely the Lakers won out. I think everybody can realize that. I don't think it's such a slap in the face like everybody's saying, LeBron didn't even know. What does that mean for LeBron? Is, are they going to trade LeBron now? Is he even going to stay? All these questions. And I'm like, I mean, honestly, if I were LeBron, I'd be happy as hell. You get a young guy who wants to win, who obviously now has a chip on his shoulder. I mean, the Mavs just cheated him out of what? Like,
I think it was like $100 million.
Yeah, it's like $100 million, which I think that says I'd have to kind of agree a little bit with First Take's take on everything of, Luka must have done something. Like, there must have been a pattern of behavior that the front office just couldn't take it. A clash in philosophy or a clash in, commitment. I've seen that thrown out there. One of the guys on PTI today said that they were kind of leaning towards the idea that, the Mavs are just putting those leaking, if you will, these, bad rumors about Luka just to kind of save face in some way. And to kind of say, they did trade away a 25-year-old superstar, so you kind of have to make it look like you're not an idiot.
He looks like an idiot.
Yeah. And so I don't think he looks like the biggest idiot in the world. I think it's not the best trade. I do see the thought process behind getting a defensive-minded big in Dallas. And if you're really of the position, which I don't know how you get there with a 25-year-old. Okay, I'm not saying I agree and would have gotten there, but if you're there with whoever that you just don't think they have commitment, the whatever, right? The it factor, whatever that is in your head as a GM, then yeah, you go out and you get your AD. You know what I mean? You go get your whatever. Now, that being said though, I think, and this might be the more end of it where people might not agree with me. I don't think Anthony Davis is all that in a bag of cats. Like, I really don't think he's that great of a player. I think he's a great player.
Wait, hold on. What was the phrase you just used?
Like, all that in a bag of cats.
Is that a saying?
It is for me.
Okay. Sorry. Anyway. Keep going. What were you saying?
White people say the darndest things,
Oh my God.
But, do I think he's going to eventually be a Hall of Famer? Probably. Do I think he's the greatest player? No, I don't. I think the same thing about Joel Embiid. They're great players. They're always hurt. And whether that's just a league thing now or what, I'm not trying to, single them two players out, but they are hurt a lot. And I think, that kind of leads into the idea of like, okay, if you're mad at Luka for not being conditioned and not being, in shape or committed, you're going to get a guy that's relatively not playing the whole season every single year. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Joel Embiid doesn't play a lot. Anthony Davis plays more than Joel Embiid. And I'm not saying that you as a GM or as somebody who is making decisions on, who's going to be on your roster, you look at that significantly. But I think the argument is Luka wasn't in shape, why are you going for a, 31-year-old big who is hurt right now?
Yeah, and that's, I would think what a lot of people are saying is, like, if your concerns were what you say that they are, there's no way that, AD is going to be the answer to that. I will push back on the fact that I think that he is probably like a top 10 player. For the Lakers, I feel like they
25 maybe.
What?
Top 25.
You're saying that you think there's 24...
I think he's a great player. I'm not trying to take anything away. I think he's a great defensive player. He's a big... I'm not saying he's not I'm not saying he's not good. That's not what I'm saying.
You think that there's... you think there's 24 players better than AD?
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now. You're telling me
yes.
that you would rather have a 31-year-old AD...
32.
32.
Yeah.
Point proof. Okay. Then anybody younger who is relatively in the same, stratosphere of talent, right?
Well, not long term, but I think what the Mavericks are saying is that they think they could probably win it this season, and I think that AD is a top 10 player currently. Not like if you were going to build your franchise, who would you pick?
Yeah.
But I don't think that there's
top 10 right now. Okay, you could make that argument, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm just saying like. In short term or long term, like you're talking about bringing in a guy mid-season, okay? You're talking about a guy who has advocated to play the 4 position, but has been primarily playing the 5 center position, right? He's been hurt a lot, he won a chip in 2020. I'd like to put an asterisk on that entire year, but here nor there.
That's crazy.
What?
You're one of those people? You're one of those, the Mickey Mouse championship ring?
Well, yeah, a little bit.
Oh, my God. All the players have said that was the hardest chip to win because of all the distractions, the fact that they were locked in, they weren't able to go out, see their families, none of that. You had to really be like it was all basketball.
And I think that made it. I mean, I guess if the players are saying one thing and outsiders are saying a different thing, you go with what the players are saying.
I mean, it's okay. You can be in alignment with Skip Bayless.
I'm just saying it was a short season, and what have you. Regardless of all of that, I'm just saying like if you're really thinking, okay, I want to win now. I'm a defensive minded guy. I'm gonna go out and get a defensive guy. Okay, you go and get AD like you said, top 10 player, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. And you mesh him with Kyrie, who correct me if I'm wrong, has a pretty good relationship with AD. Like, I think they're friends. So, like, okay. Sure. So you give, like, a decent relationship there. All right. What else do you have? Like, you have a good supporting cast. Are you going to win a chip this year? Probably not.
They got some good defensive players.
Right. You still need to score.
It's true.
And you have Kyrie. And you have AD who might not play the whole rest of the season. Like he might be here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like what do you get? And then the flip side of like the whole LeBron should be mad that he wasn't consulted and this is a slap in the face. You get another ball, kind of a ball first guy. And you're saying like they both have a high IQ. I mean, I'd be happy as heck to have another 25-year-old on my team who has a good basketball IQ. I don't know what LeBron did in terms of talking with the organization on like in terms of drafting his son. But like, you gotta admit that's something on his mind. Like, if he doesn't win another chip, it's really not the worst thing for his career. Like, it's not messing with his career, right? Nobody's gonna come out and say, oh, he didn't win another one with the Lakers, so he's not the greatest of all time, right? But at the end of the day, like, his son is now his legacy. They're playing on the same team. If LeBron has 1, maybe 2 good years left, Bronny's still going to be on the Lakers. Who else
if he can make it?
Correct. And who else is going to be there, right? And on the flip side, if you're the Lakers, who else do you have?
Oh yeah, it's a great deal for the Lakers.
And they got him for nothing.
And
literally.
They keep talking about the fact that not they keep talking about, but the whole plan was supposed to be that like Anthony Davis was going to take over from LeBron, like after LeBron got retired. Basically, like there would be a slow transition of like LeBron winds up not being the greatest player in the world, and then AD takes over, and then they kind of gets better. But the Anthony Davis, like you said, he was kind of always dinged, so it was like hard to rely on him, and he's had a great season this season. but now Luka is like a true, like, he's that dude. Like last year he dragged the Mavericks on one leg to the finals. So I
That
mean,
is true.
that's absolutely. I think that he is absolutely a superstar. I think the Lakers won. I think they fleeced him. What's crazy is, so there's a. I saw a tweet earlier from like the Bill Simmons podcast. There's a report from Kirk Goldsberry. It says that the Luka AD trade originally included multiple firsts and Dalton Connect. And there's a quote. It says, "A deal got whittled down, and I think Rob Pelinka was able to convince the Mavs that Luka's a lot of risk. His drinking, his weight problem, etc." So literally, they were able to swindle the Mavs into not doing the first, not doing Dalton Connect, keeping all of that. That's insane. And if the Lakers can get another big, they're gonna definitely be on a tear.
See, and I think if the Lakers were to get a big, like a decent big somehow, right now, I think if they all mesh well, no drama and all that jazz, I think they're a contender. I don't know that AD to the Mav makes them a contender this year right now, full stop. You know what I mean? Like, as it sits right now. Get a couple games in, okay, that might change my mind. But, like, as it sits right now, I think the Lakers get a big. And honestly, and I know you're going to dog me for this, but with LeBron on your team, like it's kind of always a possibility, right? Like, You know what I mean? Like, you kind of always have that, like, they might limp along in there, just as Luka limped them into the playoffs last year. So, I don't know. I think, honestly, 3 years from now, I think we're all going to look back at it and be like, this is not really the biggest trade, because I think it's both going to be a bust. Like, if the Luka problems are really for sure for real,
They're
right?
not.
Okay. Which argument, besides that argument, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say they are. If they really are, how long is he going to last, right? And if they are, and the Lakers turn it around, oh my gosh. Like, now you have another kind of building of the lake show.
Oh yeah. What's crazy is that I saw a tweet. Where is the well, there's a few crazy things. There's a few tweets I would like to read that about this. At NBA Paint 1 said, "Mavs moving on from Luka because he's a fat fuck. Like the best player in the world is not an even fatter fuck is insane." Talking about Jokic.
Jokic, yeah.
Also, this trade was 17 years to the day that the Lakers got rid of Kwame Brown and picked up Paul Gasol.
Oh, really?
Yes, 17 years to the day. That's nuts.
That is pretty nuts.
I think that what's going to be cool if they're able to figure it out. Luka is definitely going to be able to take a lot of the load off of LeBron. LeBron's going to be able to kind of age and play pick his points, and then Luka can carry a lot of that weight as he's been used to carrying it. But then when come like playoff time or like clutch situations, you'll be able to see Bron and Luka, two unstoppable people, if they can figure it out. I'm hype. For those that know me, LeBron is my favorite player, has been my favorite player, and Luka is my second favorite player. So I'm happy to have both of my favorite players on one team. And then I know that people will kill me for this. I'm not a team person in basketball. I'm a player person. So wherever LeBron went, that's where I was going. Now, once LeBron retires, assuming he stays as a Laker, which I know he already committed to saying he doesn't want to leave, at least by the trade deadline now. So whenever he retires, then I'll be able to keep rooting for my second favorite player, who's now my first favorite player on the same team. So that's exciting.
Which is annoying for me.
More Lakers greatness.
Oh, gonna be so annoying for like the next decade.
What's gonna be great, the Mavericks and the Lakers play each other February 25th.
In Dallas?
I'm not sure. I didn't look into that. But
February 25th?
25th, yeah.
Interesting. That's not too far away.
Nope, and hopefully both players will be healthy then, so we can see them kind of go back.
They were saying Luka February 8th potentially
to play for the Lakers. Yeah, because I know he had been hurt for a little bit. What's going to be
So
very interesting to see is the fact that
it's
um,
it's in LA.
is it?
It looks like it.
That's gonna
Yep.
be that's gonna be real interesting.
I bet those tickets ain't cheap.
Oh, I bet they're gonna be crazy. I will
Yeah.
definitely be watching that. That's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be that's gonna be really good.
See, and besides whether it's good or bad for either team, okay? Do you think like trades like this, like it is a bombshell? Like presumably, the reports say nobody knew, like LeBron didn't know. I think the GM, what's his name, the GM for the Mavericks,
Nico
Cunningham.
something.
Yeah, Nico. So he came out in a presser and said that Jay Kidd didn't even know,
Right.
like up
Yeah.
until almost the last minute. So like
Because they were
in the
saying that.
grand,
Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say because they were saying that if anyone found out about it and it became public, it could blow it all up.
Oh, 100%, and it absolutely would have. I mean, Dallas fans would have dogged Nico,
Oh yeah.
and like they are now. So like in the grand scheme of things, like how do you think that this changes like NBA trades and like just like generally like for the fans, for the owners, for the players? Like, do you
Well,
think it's a positive step forward, or do you think it's like negative in a
well, I
way?
have a few thoughts about that too. Kind of that one. A lot of people are saying like the whole season has been people talking about like the ratings for the NBA going down. This is the kind of
Mm-hmm.
bombshell that wakes people back up. People are like,
Oh,
"Oh shit!" Like things are happening.
yeah,
I think it's very good for the league. I think it's interesting as far as like the whole like player empowerment thing, where
mm-hmm.
I'm very like pro player, but I know there's been a lot of situations in which people are saying like the players take advantage of that. This kind of shows like more of like the league being like organizations do what we want to do. Like you only run things to an extent. Like if you
Yeah,
think that you're gonna come in here and do what you want and not listen to the organization, like we will ship you out. And if you're a player like Luka, he can't do a supermax anymore. So like cost
yeah.
him $100 million, I think is the amount. So
I
that's
mean,
it's huge.
literally, an entire organization, and I mean, at some degree, two organizations have shorted a guy. Like
Yeah.
he short stock, like they shorted him. They're like, yeah, we're gonna bet against him. Like he's not gonna be anything. Like
Yep.
we're gonna lose. We're not gonna allow him to get the supermax. We're not gonna pay it out. We're not gonna. He's not. We're iffy at whatever he's making now, 30, 40 mil. We're iffy now. We're not gonna give him the what is the supermax now? Like 320 or $350 million or whatever, 5 year.
I
And
think I think
so
it's like
like
70 million over 5, which I'm not sure what that math is.
yeah, and I don't like math. So whatever it is, a lot of money, right? Like we're not good with this a lot of money, so we're not going to give him any more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that says a lot more about like how the organizations, like how owners are treating like players and the what ifs, like oh, there's always going to be a next whatever kind of thing.
Well, there's a lot
Um,
of there's a lot of people that have talked about too. Like, you see, like the way that like the players move up top, it trickles down. Like, I've got a friend that's like a high school basketball coach, and he's even talking about like the way that like young players like think that they run things, and will transfer like in schools and stuff like that. Um,
yeah,
so if you're looking at that and you're seeing like if you're a young player, now once you're like older, it's a little bit different, like a Jimmy Butler type situation. But if you're a young player trying to get a super max, like you're gonna realize like all right, I gotta kind of make sure that this team wants to keep me because anyone can be moved, and I want to get that super payday.
right.
The other thing too that people were pointing out was like, and I think this is another thing from First Take as well, is that they were saying this is the first time that like in the history of LeBron, where basically the organization is saying like the era of LeBron is done. Like
Yeah,
you aren't calling the shots here anymore. Whatever, because all the teams have been like beholden to whatever he wants to do. Like do what I want
right.
or I'm leaving. Now they're like,
Yeah,
we've got Luka, dude. So you can stay here. We would love you to stay here, but he's our future, man. We're not gonna just bend over backwards to do what you want us to do anymore, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, that's like, I mean, it's been 20 years of him running the league, running whatever team he's on, running the league, stuff like that, and he just lost a lot of his power, at least with the Lakers.
yeah.
Um,
I
Something that they did say was, I think Brian Windhorst is saying was like, while people were saying that maybe it's people view it as a bad thing that they didn't tell LeBron, they were gonna do it regardless. So maybe they did it like as like to take it off of his plate. He didn't have to like have that burden of having to keep a secret from AD, who everyone knows they're close.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that feels like more of a betrayal if it's like, I know that you're about to leave and I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
But
I mean, either way, I think it was Perk on First Take or someone was like, it's a reality check to every player, to every. I think one NBA player, who was it? I think it was Josh Hart. I think it was, tweeted out like, who are the untouchables now, and like, there is none. I mean, really, in reality, I think nobody's gonna trade. I mean, the Warriors aren't gonna trade Steph. Like,
might.
okay. But, I mean, how old is Steph now? 34? 35?
Something like that. They probably won't trade him, but
I don't think that's happening. But other than that, I mean, I can't see anything, really. That's like, oh, that person's not leaving. I mean, even Giannis in Milwaukee now. I think he's on a deal for a while, but still.
Well, there's a few things with that, too. Someone had tweeted, like, the only untradeable person in the whole league right now is Bronny. Just because the Browns not going to let that happen.
You know what would be even funnier if they traded AD and gave him Bronny?
Oh my nuts.
God. That would have blown up the entire league.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, in like what you said, though, about, the viewership is down and this is the type of thing that makes people want to watch. I think you're exactly right, and I think this is going to be ultimately good for the NBA in the short term. And I think the Players Association are probably going to come up with something that's maybe a little bit more pointed to the trade deals and whatnot. But even so, they're not going to be able to. They're not going to hold enough power to make what they want happen, right? No. So I think at the end of the day, this creates more competition. I think it creates more viewership. I think at the end of the day, it helps the NBA as a whole. But wow.
Well, two other things too, and one, you're talking about the Warriors. There's been so many reports now that they've been calling basically every team legitimately trying to trade for their stars. They've been calling the Bucks, like, is Giannis available? They've been calling everybody like, hey, what's it going to take? The other thing that's kind of funny too is, and I don't know if this is ironic timing or not, but literally right after this trade happened, there were all these reports of players that were injured. Listen to this list. Joel Embiid and Paul George did on-court workout Saturday, hopeful to return by the end of this week. Zion Williamson, illness, not an injury report. Taurean Prince, knee, available to play. Gary Trent Jr., available to play. Brooke Lopez, back, available to play. Chris Middleton, injury management, available to play. Everybody was like, hey, I'm healthy. I'm healthy.
No. Not me. Ain't gonna be me.
Everybody that was hurt was like, hey, I'm showing up to work. They got Zion, Joel Embiid, and Paul George all showed up for work. I saw a thing the other day. I don't remember the exact number. There's something where around the lines of like Joel Embiid has played and missed around 400 games each.
Yes. No, not only that. I saw something else that said that Joel Embiid has been paid more money to sit on the bench than and I don't remember the 5 names. If I find the tweet, I'll shoot it out in next episode. But it was 5 pretty decently big names in the NBA. All 5 of their careers, what they have made in their freaking careers, he has made more money sitting on the bench.
That's crazy.
And that's the stuff that would keep me up at night as a general manager. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to diss Joel Embiid. I'm not trying to say that his injuries are fake. That's not at all the route I'm going. I'm just saying, you see that as a general manager, it makes you think about a trade like this. Does it not? At the end of the day, you are in charge of a franchise over long term. And a couple people were saying, I think it was Wilbon on PTI was saying Dallas is pissed. The fans are mad. And I mean, of course they are, burn the jersey, whatever, do whatever you need to do, purge it out. Right. But at the end of the day, this is why in a lot of the leagues, the ownership matters. The general manager matters. Because when you pull off trades like this, you are hedging your bet. You are betting against one of the best players in the NBA for the betterment of your team and your franchise and your fan base, and you better hope to God you're right, because otherwise you're losing your dang job.
Oh, absolutely. If this doesn't go well, Nico's gone.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and lose a decent amount of games from here on out. I wouldn't be surprised if the rumors start in a couple weeks.
Oh, I'm sure. It's got to. They've got to make a. I mean, shit. What do they have to do? Because I mean, they were in the finals last year. So like, is it championship or bust for Nico's job?
Well, and I think it is, because if you think about it, if you are of the argument that Luka carried that team on his back to the finals last year, if you are of that party of people, right? And how can you not be? Then how do you move forward with this on a positive note, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, you're gonna trade away the one guy that took you there, and you're gonna and the reason you did it is because you're in championship now mode. So
right.
Basically, you're saying he carried you there, and he's the reason you lost.
Yep, which is crazy.
Yeah. Which I think is an unfair assessment, even if he is out of shape.
What pisses off a lot of Mavs fans as well, too, is the fact that they think that they could have gotten more for it. I think it was confirmed today that the Mavericks did not inquire with any other team about what they would give for Luka, which, once again, I think was...
That's even worse.
Well... it's kind of, on one hand, you potentially lost out on so much because someone might have given you. I think it was like, didn't Rudy Gobert get traded for like 4 firsts? So yeah, you lost out on a lot. At the same time, if you go to talk to someone else about making a trade and it doesn't go through, and then they leak that to a Shams, then it's wraps. You know what I mean? Then everyone knows about it.
That is true.
2 things that I thought were kind of funny. One, there was a tweet from NFL Memes that said, Giants, my goodness, not re-signing Saquon Barkley might be the worst decision a team has made in a very long time. The Mavs, watch this. And then, did you see that tweet where it had like Dalton Connect as Charmander, and then it had Austin Reeves as Charmeleon, and then Luka as Charizard? They got the 3 evolutions of white boy hoopers.
Oh no!
Somebody said, "What are the Celtics gonna have to do in order to get white people basketball again for their team?" They said they've got to get Cooper Flag somehow. And then one more from Molly Morrison on Twitter. It was the old picture of Future looking at his phone, texting somebody that you see whenever something happens. Seeing the Mavs trade Luka away made me realize I should have never let my number 1 go. Luka gets to be with the king now. Let me be yours again.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you have anything else for this trade before we go to the other big trade?
No, I just am chip or bust both ways.
So, well, I don't think both ways, just because the Lakers still have... Everyone's saying that Luka's not even at his prime yet. The Lakers have so many more years.
Chip or bust in this year, next year for the Mavs, and I think you get 3 or 4 years on Luka before. Like, I think if the Lakers make it to the finals in the next couple of years, and they're winning some playoff games, but they don't get the chip, okay, you know what I mean? But, like, if you go 4 years with, like, a playoff win or 2, I think you're in hot water.
But Luka's had playoff wins before he even got Kyrie. He took the Clippers and the Suns out by himself, I believe, a few years ago each.
I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying if that's the case.
In 10 years, Luka will be 3 years older than AD is right now. Like, they've got a long window with him still.
Yeah, they do.
I saw something, I forgot, it's a quote from someone famous, but basically someone had tweeted it out this week about all the trades happening. They said you can go decades without anything happening, and then you can go a week where decades happen. And that,
literally.
And that leads us to the Kings just made a big trade with the Sacramento Kings made a trade with the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs now add DeAaron Fox to Wemby, which is going to be freaking disgusting. That's going to be another big long window
Yeah.
move.
Yeah. Here come the Spurs.
The Kings
Here come
get
the Spurs.
they got what's his Zach Levine
Yeah,
of the
Levine.
trade. So I saw once again another tweet which cracked me up. The Kings have now Zach Levine, DeMar DeRozan, and a European big. Never seen that formula before. They're literally building the Chicago Bulls out in Sacramento.
Legit.
In the West, and that team didn't do anything in the East.
Yep.
I think that they just don't want to go back to being completely irrelevant anymore. So they're like, we'll take what we can get. And
yeah.
I think they're going to have to tear that down. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Sabonis are winning nothing.
I agree. It was crazy about that, too, is I think Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan is a nasty partnership. Like, I think they're great together. But, like, you're right. I don't think, like, that them three are the winning formula, like, at all. I think the biggest winner here, obviously, is Wemby. I mean,
yeah.
Like, the winner here is Wemby, like, for sure. And I mean, honestly, like, don't get me wrong, it was a huge blockbuster trade with Luka and everything, don't get me wrong, but I think that's more, like, not shocking per se or, like, a blockbuster per se, but, like, more interesting in the sense of, I mean, that's going to be some pretty good basketball for 10 years. Like, that's going to be an awesome duo. I hope they make it work. I'm excited to see the Spurs be relevant again, you know, in a big way. And it's good to see like a rookie like that get, you know, help kind of immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's a great trade, and I'm super excited about this one. Although, really, you know, knife to the heart for my Bulls. Knife to the heart, man. I don't know what the heck they're doing, but it's not anything that's going to win basketball games. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I think that might be their point. They got their own pick back from, I can't remember if it was San Antonio or if it was the Kings, but the Bulls get their own pick back this season, so they're probably just going to tank and try to draft high.
Yeah, you know, they're making really good picks in the draft. Their history's great.
Hey, look,
so.
Kobe White is pretty good.
Yeah. And they haven't been able to do anything with it.
I've gone to 2 different Bulls games since I've been in Chicago. I saw them play the Lakers and I saw them play the Nuggets. And Kobe White, I didn't know who he was, and I was like, "Hey, this dude can hoop," and that was last year.
Yeah,
so
he's a really good player.
Yep. So maybe they get another good pick, and then maybe they're able to do something with that. But I mean, they're not winning anytime soon. I still think that the Spurs are too young, though. I think there's a lot of teams that are ahead of them right now, even with DeAaron Fox, even with Wemby. I don't think that they're touching the Thunder. I don't think they're touching the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're touching the even the Mavericks. I don't think they're touching. I think a lot of the playoff teams.
Yeah, in short term for sure. Yeah.
In short term, yeah, it's a good long term move for sure.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to. They definitely need to bolster their roster, but I think they did not necessarily give the world and made out well. And I think it's a good trade for them, and I think it's good for them building in the future. Like, you know, we talk about kind of the Mavs shorting Luka and kind of a little bit of a slap in the face, and I think this is a pat on the shoulder to Wemby in a way. You know what I mean? Obviously, you want your franchise to win, and Fox is going to do that. Whether really whether Wemby was there or not, Fox is a good player. It's good for the franchise, but I think them together is good, and I think that says a lot to from the Spurs to Wemby. Like, hey, we're going to get you some help. We're focusing on you. We're building a team. We're ground floor and up kind of thing. You know what I mean? And
everything,
I think
they're committed to building around him.
Yeah, and I think that says a lot. When you have the stark difference of Dallas just slapping Luka and saying, "Peace out, dog. We don't really want to deal with you anymore." I think it's a stark difference, and I think it's interesting to see. Like, I think we're going to see a big. I hope we see a tide turn in terms of younger players like that. They build around them. They work their way up as that, instead of you seeing every 3 years, this person gets traded, now that's done. This person gets traded, it's done, that kind of thing.
Very
I
true.
only signed him to a 1-year deal, blah, 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 so on and so forth.
Something kind of funny. There's a tweet from @CanHeLive. Everybody getting traded besides the nigga that's been begging to get traded for weeks. Talking about Jimmy Butler.
legit though, and I think that's still absolutely hysterical.
But
like clearly there's something else going on. Like there's something.
Well, he wants to go to Phoenix. He said that he would be willing to go to any team, but then the Warriors tried to get him, and he told them that he would not re-sign with them if they traded for him. So it seems like he's trying to go to any team in the NBA, any team that's named Phoenix.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, like, you know, again, like, do you think this changes his attitude in any way, or do you think Jimmy's Jimmy and he's just gonna do what he wants to do? And
well, he's trying to get traded. He's not in fear of being traded.
Well, right, but like in the sense of like the control part of it.
No, I think that he's seen everyone get traded, and he's like, let me get in on that.
Right. Yeah. So like, okay. So let's say, okay, right. He doesn't want to go to the Warriors, or whatever. I'm not going to re-sign with you. What's to say like I mean, yeah, it would be not advantageous for the Warriors, right? Like, so this is a kind of a bad example, but in the sense of like, let's say the Warriors like, all right, cool, we'll take you for half the season or whatever, right? Like, yeah. What's to say Miami's just not like, okay, go flop around in the league for a bit.
Well, I think that, okay, so two things. One, that kind of a mindset has worked before. The Raptors had Kawhi for one season, won a championship with him, and he left. The issue is that the Heat are going to want big resources back for Jimmy. No team is going to give up something monumental knowing it's only a rental.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like we'll give you something, but we're not going to give you something altering, knowing that he's not going to stay.
I wonder what started the bad blood. Like I wonder what the
they won't pay him. They wouldn't pay him more.
Yeah, but like where does that stem from? Like I mean, he's taken you to the finals. He's done X, Y, and Z. Like I just don't understand where. Like, is it another situation where you just don't think the commitment is there? You're like,
he's just old.
He's not in shape. He's too old.
The Heat almost have like a Patriots-like mentality where, like, you know, Belichick was always like, get rid of him a year early.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Heat. We're not going to make a commitment like this for, you know, a 4-year super paid extension, knowing that you're in your 30s. You're probably on the second half. Or not the second half, but what is it? The back nine. Like you're getting older. Yeah. Like we're not gonna give you this huge
golf
payday.
Reference?
Yeah.
You feeling all right over there?
I like golf. I don't like watching golf. I play golf.
I like golf. I don't like watching golf, but I like golf.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather go play golf than like of all the sports to watch. I'm not finna sit down and watch golf on my Sunday. I would have to be very bored.
See, for me, it's like adult nap time. You know, you put the kid down for a nap. You put some nice music on. You get the little thing above the crib to spin. Yeah, that's golf for me.
But you're not saying that. But you're not saying that you enjoy watching it. You're saying that I
love it. I love watching it for 5 minutes before I get to sleep.
No, this is the same thing that people that tell me they like Bob's Burgers and they're like, yeah, I like to put it on in the background while I do other stuff. So you don't like Bob's Burgers, like.
So you don't
like Bob's Burgers. You like having something in the background that you can fucking ignore, which is what Bob's Burgers is. Fuck Bob's Burgers. I hate that show.
I like it.
But it's the same thing.
That's a great analogy.
So you don't enjoy watching it.
Thanks.
But I think that's where they came.
Speaking of golf, though, McIlroy won the Pebble.
That's my golf clap for that. That means
it's a good golf clap. You'd be allowed on the sidelines.
Which is
I don't
crazy.
even know what they call it. Sidelines?
I don't know. All I know is that whoever took me golfing for the first time really fucking was not expecting my black ass, to be out there golfing. I'm used to playing like sports that are about hype. I'm out there smacking shit, doing a good job. I'm like, yeah! People are like, shut the fuck up. They're like, you can't do that out here. I was like, oh, I see. Sorry, I forgot where I was.
Oh my god. That's funny.
I'm used to like playing basketball or football or something where you try to let somebody know.
Yeah.
Golf, yeah, that was a rude awakening for me. But I got my shit together, got my little polos, got my white people voice on, you know. um,
got my white people voice.
Hey, you know, I had to get it together. But
Yeah,
I think that's I think that is the money is where the Jimmy stuff started, and then he was like, "All right, you don't value me enough to keep me here. Well, then let me go."
Yeah.
Um.
Well, hopefully he finds a place.
Yeah.
I like Jimmy Butler. I hope he finds somewhere.
Oh yeah, he's a good player, and I think that from a fan perspective, it makes a lot of sense too. From us to be like he's basically your whole franchise. You're nothing without Jimmy. Like you should pay him, but Pat Riley going Pat Riley. Pat Riley power played LeBron when he was there. Jimmy Butler's not gonna fucking
true.
get him to acquiesce.
Yeah. No, you got a good point.
Any other? I was gonna say we've got today's the 3rd. Trade deadline is the 6th. So we've got tonight and 2 more days.
Yeah.
To see if he gets moved or not. We'll see.
I think he gets moved last second.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he does.
Gun to your head. Where's he going?
Oh shit, I don't know.
He wants Phoenix, but Phoenix doesn't want to take Bradley Beal's contract, so I don't think they can afford to have all of them there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where he goes.
Caitlin Clark.
I don't know who
go ahead.
Picks. Oh, God. No. Go ahead.
I'm about to change the subject. Are you good?
I was just gonna say I don't know who has the picks, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. What's next?
Caitlin Clark says her first 3-point contest will be with the WNBA, not with the NBA, which I think is great news. I think that she understands the eyeballs that she attracts, and she said, if you want to see me shoot threes, come watch me at the W. She's not saying that she'll never do one with the NBA, but she's saying that that her first one will be with the W. Thoughts?
I think it's a great move. At first, I thought it was a little odd, but after thinking about it for a little bit, I think you're exactly right. I think kind of you want to watch me, you got to turn on the W now.
Yeah.
And kind of putting people into a corner. And I think that also kind of gives there was a lot of talk in the W, chirping about how, she's getting more eyeballs than some of the other players that have been there and who are, better because they've been in the league for a few years or whatever you want to call it. But I think if you are of the opinion that is like a truth of sort, and you don't think that she's like giving, props to the people that walked before her, if you will, I think this is kind of a slap on the back. Like, no. I'm here. Like, I'm for the W. Like, I'm not just about me kind of thing. Because I think if you're all about you, you go to that. You go to that immediately.
Of course.
Right? Because there's just going to be more, most likely there's going to be more eyeballs there. But I think this is a great move. I think it's a great PR move. I think it's a great move for the W. I hope viewership is up. I hope ESPN puts it on Prime. Like, I hope it works out the way that it should.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think it's a great move. Well, I'm excited to watch it.
She's saying that, like, I'm not about my brand only. I'm about using my brand to help build the WNBA brand, which is good.
Right.
It also opens the door. Someone said, too, talking about, like, opportunities, like, she's never done one before. Someone more deserving, like a Sabrina Ionescu or someone else, they can go do the NBA one if they want to. Like, that's theirs. Because, the NBA would be like, fuck everybody else, we'll take Caitlin. But if she's not available, someone else gets the chance to go over there and shine. Something I would like to see, too, which I think would be very good, Steph or somebody else should go to the W and do theirs as an event.
Yeah.
That should go both ways. Give the favor back. Although... Here's the only question. What happens if a player from the NBA goes and torches somebody in the W?
Yeah.
What happens then?
Yeah. Exactly.
But I mean, it's a shooting contest. It's not like a dunk contest or something. It's an even playing field.
Yeah. I think the key there is personnel.
Yeah.
You could have a great 3-point shooter, but if, like, you gotta kind of like conduct yourself a certain way either way, right? Like if you say, like, yeah, you're right. If somebody goes over there and torches it, and then they get on like all the shows and they're like, yeah, well, of course I did, because I'm in the NBA and blah 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 or whatever, then you got a really big problem. I think if you get over there and it's like a close, 1-2 shot either way, like it is what it is. Like it's just a competition. I think people put a little too much stock in the men-women conversation, like in regards to the 3-point contest. Like it's just a competition. It's just a shooting competition, and I think the more we leave it there, the better off we are with the sport moving forward. You know what I mean?
It's just competition.
Yeah, it's just competition. It just makes everybody better, right? Like at the end of the day, if Steph Curry and Sabrina go up against each other and Sabrina wins, like theoretically that makes Steph better on the court and so on and so forth. Like you got to be a competitor, you got to love the game, you got to work for it, blah, 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 blah. But I think it creates more competition and I'm all for that.
That's fair. Speaking of the W, Bill Haslam has announced his bid for the WNBA's final, and I don't understand how it's final because couldn't there be more coming? But final expansion team, the Tennessee Summit. And the team ownership group, to me, is a very interesting group of people. Candace Parker, Faith Hill, Tim McGraw, Peyton Manning. It's not a group of people I would have expected to see in the same room. Well, I guess it's more of one of these people is not like the other. I can see Peyton Manning, Faith Hill, and Tim McGraw in the same room, but Candace Parker with them? And Bill Haslam.
Well, she went to Tennessee.
Right. Like, okay, I guess that's fair.
And so did Peyton, right?
I don't know.
Pretty sure Peyton went to Tennessee.
Like for college?
Yeah.
Okay. You could be right. I'm not sure. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I gotta make sure I'm not like tripping, but I'm pretty sure I think that's the connection that you might be missing. But yeah, you're right. One of these is not like the other. I mean, I think it's great in the sense of it's a different, what's the word? Like, it's just different. You know what I mean? You don't see, I think the rise of like ownership groups are better. I think it's better when you have different voices. I think them naming it after the legendary Pat Summitt is just furthermore to my words of like, I think having the diversity in the room is better. Like Faith Hill might not be the first thing you think of when you think of women's basketball. And like, I don't know this to be true, but like, she might just be like a really big women's basketball fan. Like she might not have anything to do with it. She might have not played it, like whatever. But like, I think the more voices in the room you can get, I think all the better. You know what I mean?
They might just be in it for the financial success.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like you said, ownership groups are definitely big. I mean, you've got what's his name? Mahomes. He's a partial owner of either a soccer or a baseball team. I can't remember which one.
The women's. Yeah, him and his wife own the women's soccer team in Kansas City.
Magic Johnson is a partial owner of the Commanders.
Yes.
And look at them winning.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning knows a little about something about sports success. Obviously, yeah. Candace Parker. Bill Haslam. The Haslams own. Is it the Cleveland Browns?
Is it?
Jimmy Haslam is the name that I hear. Jimmy Haslam. I think of the Haslams. I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. I should have looked that up before we started.
That's a good question. Peyton did go to Tennessee.
Hey Siri, what team does Jimmy Haslam own? Yep, he's the owner of the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
And yes, you said he did go to Tennessee, so that's maybe the connection. Summit. So that's the spelling for it is named for Pat Summitt? You just taught me that because I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, why are they calling it the final expansion? I saw something the other day about how like Jared Goff is trying to get in on bringing a WNBA team to Detroit.
I think there was an expansion, like they like had a plan for expansion. So I think this might be the final in that plan. I don't think that's to say that they don't want anymore.
Okay.
But there's bids for them. Like I think a couple other multiple bids were filed this week or last week, I should say. I know I saw one. Yeah, Golden State, Toronto, and Portland are the other ones. So it looks like they want to add a 16th team by the 28 season. The Detroit Pistons have submitted a formal bid as well. The owners of the Pistons has submitted a formal bid, as well as the Nashville, Tennessee, Philadelphia, I guess, partner with Comcast to bring a WNBA team to Philly, Houston. So, I mean, there's a bunch out there that are, putting out feelers. I guess there was, I don't know if it was Patrick Mahomes or his wife, but one of them said that they were, thinking about Kansas City as another one. See, the thing about this though is like, okay, yeah, you get more teams, right? Can the WNBA financially handle it? Like they're already, correct me if I'm not, before maybe 2021, like hemorrhaging money. So, and like they just got private flights for the players. Like legitimately I think this is the first season they've had private flights. So I think this is all great. I think the more interest that we have, we should collectively hold it and never let it go.
Yeah.
So if that means that now is the time to expand the ever-living shit out of it, you fucking sit down and you figure it out. Is my thing. Like, you figure it out. Because if now is the time, right? Because you already have years of the NBA and years of all these other professional sports. There's not really another women's professional sport, team sport, that is as popular as women's basketball. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I mean, college softball is pretty popular, but the professional end of it is not very popular. I mean, professional volleyball and professional hockey have been getting a little bit more news, but, more nationally, I think basketball is probably the most popular. So if now is everybody's time, they're like, oh, we want a bid. We want our city to have a WNBA. I think the WNBA needs to figure it out. However you can do it, find a plan and make it happen. Because if people are going to be interested now, they might not be interested, 10 years from now. So get in now.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense. To answer your question, I can't think of any league that's as popular. The only two things I can think of that are even close to being, I don't even know if popular is the right word, but notable as much for women's sports would be the women's U.S. soccer team and the women's gymnastics team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Last thing for basketball, Adam Silver is talking about shortening games to 10-minute quarters, which I know they're trying to do to I think maybe he's thinking about the idea of like how baseball is trying to reduce their was trying to reduce their game time. I think it's a horrible move for basketball.
My thought when I first saw it is that isn't overseas 10-minute quarters?
Ooh, maybe.
I think I'm pretty sure the Olympics is too.
Something that I was reading was saying that this would the only difference it would make would be it would hurt the bench players because the starters aren't losing minutes, so you're just reducing the role of bench players, which is also going to reduce their pay, give them less time to get on the court. I mean, you're reducing the game by 2, 4, 6, 8 minutes. Those are going to be when the bench players are playing. So
Not only
I don't
that,
like it.
I don't like it either. And not only are you gonna never like you're gonna have players who are never gonna be able to like break records as much. You know what I mean?
True.
Like you're not gonna have like, are we gonna really see another 60+ point game?
Right, with less time.
Like
That's a good point.
Probably not. So I think you're losing bench player money, bench player time, but you're kind of losing time and money off of your star players too, off of incentives or records or whatever your personal accolades you want to call it. I think it's a bad move too. I think if you're trying to shorten the game, that's not the way you do it.
I think anytime that you start messing with, like the stipulations, like so games played, time of quarter, stuff like that. Obviously, I think I've said this before to you that like baseball is a big fan of just because of shortening the amount of time that they were dicking off, not doing anything.
Yeah.
So a pitch clock, which doesn't affect stats and stuff like that. But once you like adding another game for football, like if Saquon had broken that rushing record, the argument would have been like, yeah, but he had one more game to do it. If you take out time in the basketball, then like you said, it's going to make things different. Also, I think that the whole thing with the new CBA was they were trying to make building a super team harder because of the cap amounts. And so if you then lower the time, then it's going to completely shoot that in the foot because you're allowing there's less time that you need bench players to play. Building a complete team won't matter as much. It's going to be, we've got 3 superstars, go out there and play the whole game.
Right. No, and I think you're going to see more injuries at that point. The other end of it too is like, if you want to shorten the time, okay, call the fucking foul on Yanni for the 10-second violation.
Oh yeah. For shooting the ball.
I know
that. Free throws?
I know that's such like a minute thing, but like that's a thing that he does consistently. That's just like we're just like ha ha ha, something that he does. LOL, like that's so funny, and it's like, okay.
I'm gonna.
We're talking about.
Maybe.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Maybe I'm in the minority of this. I've never heard anyone complain of all the complaints I've heard about the league. I've never heard anyone complain about the time of the games. Like they're trying to fix something that's absolutely not broken.
Yeah, and I actually agree with that as well. I don't think the amount of time that you sit down and watch a basketball game is the problem at all. I think a bigger problem that most professional sports have is how the hell do you watch the game you want to watch?
Yes, absolutely. Even if you have League Pass, you're not getting all of them.
Yeah, like for real. Like, okay, I'm a Bulls fan living in Michigan. How do I get the Bulls game? You're a Lakers fan living in Chicago. How do you get a Lakers game? Now, don't get me wrong, the Lakers are a little bit of a different question because they're on national television more often. And I think I can't remember who said it, but one of the talking heads on one of the shows this morning said something like, if I were this network, ESPN, or any of the other networks, I would tear my schedule up into shreds, and I would say I want every freaking Laker game on national television. I don't care how you do it. I want every Laker game on national television. And he's not wrong. And honestly, as much as like I would be like, ugh, another Laker game, it's better for the league. Because if you have more people watching a team that, okay, they might not be a fan of the Lakers, but they can associate with the Lakers and associate this big bombshell trade, you get them to start watching. They're going to start trying to find their team games. They're going to try to start getting into it more. But again, it brings us back to the problem of you as like a normal general human being. It is hard as hell to find the game you want to watch, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, college games. Like, good God, you have to have like 9 different streaming services of 3 VPNs to get on the to get on Stream East if they don't shut down. You know what I mean? Like, this is ridiculous. You should really, honestly, like, if you're like, baseball tried to do this where the Cubs tried to do Marquee Network. Like,
dude,
you're a fan.
I was gonna bring that up. I hate it. You know how pissed off I was moving out here and being like, I'm gonna get into baseball and I can't fucking watch any of their home games. And then we get like T-Mobile gives you like the fucking MLB Network. It's blacked out. So literally the only way, because I'm not paying $20 a fucking month for Marquee Network. The only way I can watch a fucking Cubs game is if I walk my ass to fucking the Cubs field. That's it. That's the only way I can watch a Cubs game.
People.
What's the fucking
Wrigley?
Wrigley? Yes, I'm sorry. I blanked. Oh no.
Oh, shot to the heart, dude. Oh my god.
I was thinking Soldier Field. That was a mistake. Yes.
But you're not wrong though, and I had the same argument with MLB Network because I had it. I was password sharing, and I had it out here, and it was nice because when it was out here, I could get the Cubs games, but I couldn't get the Tigers games, which I thought was really freaking weird. To then go on top of that, where like I couldn't password share anymore, so I thought about getting Marquee Network, and I got like a free trial with it, and I was like, this is not impressive at all because if you're not watching a Cubs game, the content that they had on it was bad.
Yeah, it's just for the Cubs.
Good. It was, and I'm a very big Cubs fan.
Mm-hmm.
It was not good content. Like, if you were only a baseball fan, you're only a Cubs fan, like, I could see you watching it and stomach, like, a couple shows. But, like, it's not something I feel like a normal person would pay that price for. Like, well, there was nothing wrong with the Cubs playing for WGN. Like, there was nothing wrong with having the Cubs on WGN, a local channel. You could get it and be done with it. You know what I mean? I literally have to listen to the Cubs on the radio if I want to listen to a game or like kind of want to watch it live. I'm either watching Gamecast or listening to it, which is kind of dumb.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like baseball doesn't have, because there's so many games, there's no like urgency to catch every single game. So no one's paying that much money to be able to watch every single baseball game because no one's watching every single baseball game.
Right, exactly.
All the sports are doing that. Like the NFL, you've got like ESPN has games, CBS has games. If you have Sunday Ticket to watch everything that's on regular TV, you still can't watch something that's on Amazon Prime. You still can't watch the game that they put on Peacock, the game they put on Netflix. Like, it's so getting increasingly harder to watch games for like what you want to see. And
right.
If you're a small market team, you're fucked. If you're a Portland Trailblazers fan, you've got to pay money to watch the games that you want to watch.
Yeah. Which is like, why would you continue to be a fan?
Yep. And even
like, why would you?
They've even had like people pointed out before, like the Lakers have had some games against very big teams this season. They're on League Pass. Like, why would you not put that on regular TV if you're trying to get viewership up?
Right.
What were you gonna say?
I don't understand that at all. No, I was just gonna echo that. Basically, it's like, I mean, if you're a Portland fan or if you're like any fan and you don't live in that state,
you're cooked.
You're screwed. Like, you're cooked. You're not going to watch your team. And it's like, how do you like, why else do you think the like viewership is declining? Why else, like, and shortening the games is not going to help that, like we're talking about. And, you know, giving us a chance to maybe watch the product. Hey, that's a fucking thought. Maybe giving the fans an opportunity to watch the games of the team that they're a fan of. Like, I don't know, it might seem a crazy idea to some of these broadcasting companies and some of these teams. It's like a whack idea, but like when you have fans, like you get them, like you try to make your product easy and attainable. So like $400 tickets and, you know, $30 streaming services with nothing else but a game or shitty content, like, is not helping your brand.
Absolutely.
At all. Because at the end of the day, like, yeah, you'll keep your rich fans, right? But baseball's a long season. Not a lot of people can go to or watch 180 games a year.
Yeah.
No matter how rich you are or whatever. So at the end of the day, you need as many people as you possibly can, and they're not really making it easy to be a fan of anything but is what's local.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a fucking shame, but maybe if they keep losing viewership, maybe people will figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready for some trivia?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Okay, so we're back with Lexi's Lore, our random trivia. Is there any guesses to what you guys think is the like topic this week?
How would we? Can you give us a hint?
I'm gonna go with animals.
No. Okay. Spence, any possibility? Any thoughts?
I know that you've talked before about one of them was going to be facts about Moose, so I'm going to go ahead and take that as a guess.
Okay. Well, you're both wrong. Okay.
Dog! Oh
So,
my god.
I was just curious if you were going to guess it. I feel like recently I've been on a big South Park kick. It's been what's on TV. Used to be like Seinfeld and all that, but they transitioned. So yeah, I've been inspired. We're going to do South Park. Do you watch a lot of South Park or at all?
I was literally just about to agree with you, Lexi. Like, I've seen a shift on my television as well to see a lot more South Park lately. So I've been watching it as well. I know a good amount.
Hell yeah.
So I'm excited.
Well, perfect. I love to hear that. Okay, sweet. Okay, and then I think you've done this before, Buck, but just run you through the structure of it real quick. I will give you guys a question. We will guess to see, or you guys will guess and see what you guys think the answer might be. And then we'll show up the real options, and then you guys can pick from there, and so on. Let's get her rolling. Okay, so question 1. How long does it take to produce an episode of South Park, from concept to air? Any guesses?
48 hours.
A month.
Ooh, okay.
Those are two completely different answers.
Literally.
Well, what I'm curious about is, like, it depends on what time period too, right? Because like season 1 was when they had like the cardboard cutouts that they did it all with.
Right.
Now I think that they animate it.
So I will say, and it's not anywhere in the rest of this, they do animate it now. They used to cut paper and like do all that, and this is a recent, like an updated. Like if they were to release a season nowadays, like tomorrow, how long it would take them from concept to air? Do you want to change your answer? Or are you going to keep it the same?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. What was your answer again, Buck? 48 hours?
48 hours.
Okay. And let's see the options.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
I'm going 6 days.
6 days? Okay.
I'll go with 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Drum roll. And 6 days it is.
Oh, okay, Buck.
I remember watching something that said that they do the episodes like really quick. So that's why I said something like obscene.
Okay.
Yeah, insanely quick. I read that, and then I think the comparison to like a regular animated TV show can be like 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's whack.
So, yeah, it's crazy just to see like their turnaround. It's insane.
Well, they're so much more simple than some of like the like anime shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, everything. I mean, they kept the concept of like the cutout paper and everything like that. Keeps it really simple.
Yeah.
Are you keeping track of the score?
Sure. I got you.
Cool.
1 second. We'll get this rolling. Okay, so Buck has 1. Spence has 0.
All right, and that's Lexi's lore for tonight, guys.
Bucks get the double lead.
See the cut scene from Family Guy where it's like a 6-minute show. That's all we have for tonight, guys. Okay, so question 2. What is the population of South Park?
Hey, do you know what episode this GIF is from?
I don't remember. I think it's when someone says something obscene on TV, right? That based off this clip.
Yeah. Randy was on Wheel of Fortune, and it was like people that annoy you.
I know
and it was N space GGERS, and Randy said niggas, and fucking the answer was naggers.
So I almost inserted that in one of the questions here and used one of the clips, but it wouldn't copy as like a GIF for me, and it was only doing the photo, and I felt like it needed the whole entirety of it. So I had to omit it. So I'm glad that this is the least part of it. Okay. Any guesses on what the population of South Park is?
200 people.
200?
Okay.
Is that what you said, 200?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 700.
Okay. We're a little bit higher than that.
It's a small town. That's what I thought it would be.
I mean, it's not that small. You got to think Adrian was like 33,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going with A.
D.
Okay.
D.
You're locking your answer, Spence.
D.
D. So
3,987.
A. Okay, so A for Buck, D for Spence. Drum roll. And it's C.
Ah.
I need a buzzer noise. I need like a soundboard.
4,388.
Yes, I feel like I'd be insufferable if I had one. So. Okay, so yeah, it's 4,388, which I was kind of surprised. I feel like my guess would have been higher. I'd have been like at least in like the 12,000 or so, like small town, but I didn't expect it to be like, under 10 grand small.
Yeah.
A couple hundred was crazy. But I guess you see the same characters like reoccurring in every single episode damn near, so that makes sense. Okay, let's go to question number 3. How many episodes of South Park are there? And this is as of May 2024, so this isn't the new season that's about to get released.
Well, I'll keep this to myself. I'm trying to do the math.
Counting the movies or specials or just the episodes?
This is just the episodes. Actually, I'm sorry. Nope. It did include the specials.
Oh.
I think there's around 2,000.
Buck, any guesses?
I really don't think that there's that many episodes, but you might not be far off. I'll go 1,500. I think I'm still high. But... yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm going with 3/3. No, I'm gonna go with 278.
Yeah, I did my math wrong, actually.
I see what you did there.
I was thinking that there's like 20 seasons.
You need a calculator for your birthday?
No. What's funny is you said that. I was thinking earlier that we're talking about how the math was so difficult for the the Supermax. 70,000 or 70 million over 5 years is like 35 million or 350 million. So
yeah, I think that's what it is.
Not that difficult. But there's like 20-ish seasons of South Park. Each of them have about 10 episodes. Some are shorter. I'm going to go with like 219 D. Buck, you said 278, right?
Yeah, 278.
Okay, so the fun part about all this is I don't remember any of the answers. So this is very much a surprise to me until it pops up. So let's see.
What?
328. Okay.
Damn.
So this will be revealed later on in the slideshow, not necessarily as like a question, but there's I believe it's 27 seasons that have been released. The 27th season is what's about to get released. Like this year. Like very soon. I think in February, if I read that right. But yeah. A lot of fucking movies and a lot of seasons and a lot of specials.
Yeah.
Okay. So what color shirt does Chef wear?
Red.
I thought this might be like one of those
red.
Does Stanley have a mustache questions?
It's red.
It's red.
It's red.
You guys know
red.
Chef
Okay.
all too well.
I was like, oh, sure. If it's not red, I'm calling, what is it?
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect, yeah.
Also, I love the fact that Chef is wearing a Go Cows shirt. Like, is that supposed to be like a cowboy shirt?
No.
No, their mascot is the cows.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
How have I never known that? Oh my gosh.
Except for when PETA made them change it, and then they were debating between a douche and a turd sandwich.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I do remember that episode.
Yep.
Okay. So, next and final segment is Guess That Season. So I've got a couple different things, a couple different episodes that I really liked that I put up. And yeah, we're going to guess what season they are. And this is out of 27 seasons. Well, technically 26 because nothing is going to come from the last season since it's not released.
Okay.
Okay. So, we have, what season is the episode Butter's Bottom Bitch? Now, if you're unfamiliar, which I believe both of you are familiar, Butters attends a pimp convention, and then he learns how to act and talk like a pimp. Any guesses on what season this is?
12.
8.
Okay. Let's see what we got here.
It's 9. It's season 9.
9.
How are you so sure?
Because I think I've watched this episode a lot, and I think that it's season 9.
You're right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Oh.
Hey, you want to make some motherfucking money, bitch?
No, literally. Now listen, I'd make some money with Butters.
With Butters?
I mean, come on. Okay. Next is, what season is the episode Fish Sticks? Now, I'm sure you're all also familiar with this one. Jimmy writes the perfect joke, which is quickly picked up by comedians and talk show hosts. Cartman thinks that him being in the room means that he also co-wrote the joke. But his need for credit puts the boys in danger when a celebrity doesn't get it, a.k.a. Kanye West.
Did you use ChatGPT to write this episode, to write this description?
No. These are the direct descriptions from
okay.
From what's on Google, so probably Wikipedia. To be honest, I'm not writing any of this stuff.
Did you know
I got a day job.
Did you know that Kanye tried to sue them for this episode?
Right, which is probably why it says when a celebrity doesn't get it.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it. He seems crazy and on a regular basis, let alone for something that's slightly slandering his name. So.
12.
12? And Buck?
15.
15?
Yep.
Okay, so you got 13, 19, 10, and 8.
A, 13.
D,
13?
8.
Spence? You said B, 8?
No, D,
8.
season 8.
So Spence has season 8, and Buck has season 13. Season 13.
Damn, I'm getting killed right now. What's this? Can we get a score check?
Let's go.
Score is Buck 3, you 1. I'm pretty sure the only one you've gotten is the red. No, you got 2, right?
Yeah, I had the
because you
bottom
got
bit.
the Butters bottom bitch.
Yeah, so I've
and
got
you got
2.
the red shirt.
But Buck also got the red one too.
I think she is 4 then. Sorry, I'm really bad at keeping track. All we need to know is Buck is winning, okay? So yeah, this gotta love it. Also, are any of these people in the picture with Kanye supposed to be recognizable people, or are they just supposed to be like indigenous, like rap groupies?
I think they're just rap groupies.
The latter, yeah.
Okay. And question 7: what is the episode, The Return of the Fellowship, of the Ring to the Two Towers? So the Lord of the Rings episode. What season is this episode in?
9.
7.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Got 4, 6, 12, and 20.
Ooh.
6.
6
just to be different, I'll go A.
A, do season 4? Okay.
Yeah.
Spence got it. Woo!
There you go, Spence.
Let's go.
This was one of my first episodes I remember seeing and remembering. And this was before I had even watched any of the Lord of the Rings movies. Okay. Final question. What season is the episode Reverse Cowgirl? Also a classic. This is the TSA episode. So this is the Toilet Safety Administration, the parody on the actual TSA.
Okay, sir, I just needs to check inside your asshole.
Your asshole. What are you guessing?
12.
12.
Like, imagine this guy staring at you checking your ID at TSA.
Nope, I'm getting on a different flight.
Nah, he's checking.
Right.
He's checking assholes.
Right.
If I'm at Midway, I'm going to O'Hare. If I'm at O'Hare, I'm going down to Midway.
I gotta go somewhere else. This is okay. So these are the options. We got season 16, 5, 24, and 9.
Season 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are both correct, and here it is. It wouldn't let me insert it as a GIF, so it's only a still.
All right, sir.
I just need to check inside your asshole.
Just need to check inside your asshole. Oh my god. That's great.
So, fun fact I found out while doing all this that I couldn't phrase into a question was South Park actually holds the Guinness World Record for the most swearing in an animated series.
You know what's funny is, so the episode that, if it's from this episode where this picture is from, where they've got the count, they did an episode where basically, like, it was kind of like a meta situation, so where they were saying that they were going to, like, swear on TV for the first time ever. And so in that episode, they swear a bunch, and they do a count of all the times that they swear, and I think they do a thing with, like, a little celebration or something when they get to, like, 100. Or something like that.
Oh, no way.
I didn't realize that count must have been for them trying to get the Guinness World Records.
That's
Well, they got it.
Damn.
Oh,
good
yeah.
for them.
Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
You should have left as soon as you said that. Just click.
I'm like technology
Hey guys,
illiterate,
I'm
so I
going
would
home.
say that and then be clicking around. Tech spends back on my laptop. Forget to unshare my screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all, folks. Thanks for doing another segment of Lexi's Lore. Come back next week to catch another bunch of random questions you probably won't know the answer to. But yeah.
Thanks, Lexi.
Thanks,
Fantastic.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Didn't I can't remember the name of it, but I'm pretty sure the writers of South Park, like the original guys, did a movie.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? Basketball. You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
That?
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Yeah, so they wrote South Park, and they did a movie in the late 90s called Basketball. You should watch it. It's freaking hilarious.
What's it about?
Basketball.
Okay.
They make up their own thing.
They gotta, like, smoke crack while they play basketball?
They basically invent an entirely, like, new sport to them.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty funny, though.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about Kanye too getting pissed at them. You know, he put the I'm not sure if it's Power or what song it is. He's got a lyric where he says "choke the writers of South Park with a fish stick."
Yep.
In one of his songs, he was pissed at them for that.
Yeah. Which just makes it even better for me. Like, I think that makes the episode even funnier.
Yep. Okay. So the next story that we're going to talk about tonight is, did you see that there is a woman who is suing Lyft because the driver refused to let her in the car due to her size? She's actually a rapper, I think, from Detroit.
Yeah.
I can't find... I thought I had saved it somewhere. I can't find her name. It's something DeMoss. DeMoss. But, yeah. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, this one's probably going to be a touchy one for a while. But, I mean, honestly, like, kind of one of those things, like, I saw a few people were like, you know, she probably should have ordered an XL or, like, what have you. And it's kind of one of those things where, like, do you blame the guy that just so happens to drive a sedan who happens to work for Lyft? Like, in reality, like, realistically, like, you're somebody who just works for Lyft and you drive a sedan. I mean...
Yeah.
Maybe he could have went about it in a little bit of a more professional way. But again, we're talking about a Lyft driver.
It's Dank DeMoss. That's her. Or unless it's Dank Demos. Like demo tape. That makes sense. Yeah, I feel you. I don't know. I'm torn on this for a few reasons. Now, on one hand, she said that she has... Okay, well, let me go the other way first. On one hand, there is a video of her. It looks like maybe doing a music video. and she's sitting in the back of an SUV.
Yeah.
And
With the dog?
Yes. She's taking up the entire back of the SUV. Like, sitting in it. Like,
yeah.
It's hard for me to imagine that given that amount of real estate in the back of the SUV that she could fit into one seat. However, in a sedan. However, she did say that she routinely takes regular Ubers or regular Lyfts, not XLs. So I guess what I'm curious about is like, I don't know. I want to know. We need to, like, OJ had to put the glove on. We need to see for the court case if she can fit inside the car. That's what I need to see. We need to get that car, whatever the model was. That car needs to be at the trial. She has to try to sit inside it. If she can sit inside that car safely, then she has a case. If she could not, if she could not,
I think, and honestly, in reality, I do think, like, I agree with you. I think it's as simple as that.
Now, what I'm curious about is it appears that the driver took one look at her and said, "Ain't no fucking way." And what I need to know is, was he right?
Wild.
Was he right? I don't see where there's any reason not to have let her try. And now I saw a lot of people on Twitter were talking about, like, her damage to the suspension or the shocks on the car and shit like that.
Everybody's an engineer.
Right. And what I'm wondering is, like, what's the difference between one person that weighs 500, 600 pounds and three people that weigh 200 pounds? She's got a big enough body to where the weight displacement is not going to be all centered in one spot on that car.
Yeah. I mean, well, and that's just everybody's an engineer. Everybody is a pilot.
Right.
Everybody's an engineer. Everybody's, everybody knows everything, right? Like, everybody's a firefighter. Yeah. Why didn't the trees burn, right? Like, everybody has their own little, right? But, I mean, I think you hit it on the nose, though. Like, that car, get in it. There's your case right there. Point proven, I think, like, number one, if she's saying that she takes, like, normal Lyfts and, like, Ubers all the time, like, there's part one to your case, too. And I think part two, like, whether true or not, like, whether the suspension would be ruined or whatever, true or not, besides the point, the Lyft driver could have been a human being and been a little nicer about it. Like, hey, you know what, I just, I just got a call. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to cancel. Like, I know it's probably not the most convenient, but I got to go. Like, be a dick in your car with nobody in it and whatever. Like, whether it's true or not, regardless, like, you don't have to be, it costs nothing to be nice.
It's true.
It costs you nothing to be a nice person. You still don't have to do what you don't want to do. Like, if you don't want that person in your car as a Lyft driver, Uber driver, for whatever reason, I think you as that driver have the right to do that. But, like, you don't have to be an asshole about it.
Well,
you don't have to be. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, when you drive, you know that there's going to be wear and tear to the vehicle. Now, I guess maybe we'd have to get a car engineer to come in here and tell us if what she'd be putting the car through would be more than regular wear and tear. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because, I mean, if you drive in a shitty conditions, like, you know what I mean? Like, your car's going to get fucked up, If you give someone a lift during fucking, like, when it's like, I mean, we live in the Midwest, so, like, cars get fucked up from the ice that they put on the roads. Like, you know what I mean? There's regular wear and tear to your car. Is her sitting in that for a fucking 20-minute fucking drive? Is that really a big deal? Like,
yeah.
Or you just... Like, the situation is obviously, like, objectively a little funny, but, I mean, at the same time, it's not hilarious because it is, what this did on Twitter was bring out a lot of extreme fat phobia, which is pretty fucked up. I mean, people are acting like she's gonna sit in the fucking car and the fucking tires are gonna pop. Like, get the fuck out of here, dog.
Which, like, again, brings me back to everybody's an engineer. Everybody knows everything when something like this happens. Like, you see a bigger human and you see a small car and you want to laugh and pretend you're an engineer.
Yep.
Like, I agree with you. Like, I think anybody suing over something that objectively could be trivial is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
so
they're saying that like in Michigan, like weight is a protected, like I forgot the wording, but basically it's discrimination if you don't do something based on someone's weight.
Right, and so like I think that's the larger question is really like, okay, so if it is a fact, and I'm not saying that it is, that there would be extra wear and tear detrimental to this vehicle, and that somebody of that size has to order an XL. Like, equity would be that the XL and the regular sedan would be the same price.
Hell
we
no.
both know is not the same truth.
I don't think that that's equity at all, though. Because that's where I think we
in that situation.
But I'm saying like no, it's your. This might be controversial. It's your decision to weigh fucking 500-600 fucking pounds. If you can't fit in fucking one airplane seat and you need 2 airplane seats, you gotta pay for 2 airplane seats, dog. That's your fault. Like, yeah. I'm not saying like obviously there's nuance to the situation. I know people have health issues. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but at the end of the day, like, shit is designed for an average sized fucking person. Right. So if you need 2 airplane seats, you need to buy 2 airplane seats. If you can't fit in a fucking sedan, you need to be in the SUV. Like, if factually speaking, you know what I mean?
Right.
If you fucking go to a fucking restaurant and you need a vegan option, sometimes vegan options don't cost the same. The fucking supply for the ingredients isn't the same, though. They don't cost the same.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like, and disabilities and stuff are different, too, because I know, like, there's lots of things that are for, like, you know, buildings need to have like elevators or ramps for wheelchairs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of room for nuance in it. But at the same time, I don't think that like if you like to eat, you probably are going to have to pay more for some things that are built for an average body.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same thing with like
I don't disagree. That's a good point. I don't disagree.
There was a lady talking about that with the airplane. She had a fucking massive BBL. Well, your butt is the size of 2 fucking butts now. Regular seats aren't going to work for you. Like you have to anticipate that this is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what? Like, you know what I mean? But that was a choice. There's choices.
Yeah.
What I need to know is if he let her try to get in the car or not, and if she would have fit. If it's because it's hard to tell from a video. If it's clear to fucking see, like, okay, girl, you know you had no business trying to get in this fucking sedan, then that's one thing. Yeah. On the other hand, if she could have fit and he, like, didn't let her try to fucking fit in the car, then you're a fucking asshole. But I think it's very easily proven or disproven. And
I agree.
And if I was her and I was trying to win the lawsuit, I'd have fucking went and filmed myself getting in one of those bitches the same day. But I think I'm wondering what her case is against Lyft, though, because Lyft found out they terminated the driver immediately. So what else do you want Lyft as a company to do?
Right. Well, she wants Lyft to pay her, I think.
Which, I mean, I know a lot of people get your bag. I don't know. It's very interesting. I think that the fact that this has become, like, big news is very interesting, too, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, normally I feel like this would not be... Like, she's not a mainstream...
rapper.
Like, performer or rapper. Like, it's not like everybody knows this person.
Right. It's not like, for lack of a better comparison, it's not like this happened to Lizzo.
Right.
Well, I think that one of 2 things needs to happen, though. This is going to, you know, either wind up going to court or getting settled out. I think that if she can fit in the car, then, yeah, get your money. If she can't fit in the car, I think that the driver needs to be rehired in a formal apology. And then he probably needs to fire Lyft.
Yeah.
Or sue Lyft, I mean. That's what I meant to say. Sue Lyft, yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, to go off of your, like, lifestyle choices, I don't know, like, if I'm ordering a Lyft and a car pulls up and the first thing in my mind the first thing in the driver is like, I don't know if you're going to fit or something along that line, right? I don't think my first thought would be like, oh, I've gotten in these cars before, I'm gonna sue you. I think my first thing would have been like, maybe it's time I should, maybe change some lifestyle choices or.
Well, that's at your discretion, though. I mean, I feel like you've got the right. You can like have something like that happen to you, and it's like, okay, this is an incentive that I want to be able to fit in this lift. I'm going to start working out. But you can, if you choose to be big, though. I mean, that's your choice. You've got the choice to be big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you have the choice to sue the Lyft driver that doesn't want to give you a ride.
Right. Well, I guess ultimately, if she could have fit, he is obligated to give her that ride. Especially, like I said, Michigan, they are, like, you can't discriminate based off weight. But
yeah,
I think it all comes down to, like, factually, could it have worked or could it have not worked?
Right. Agreed. It's going to be interesting to see what it shakes out to be, though.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like I said, seeing her in the back of the SUV, it doesn't look good for her case. But it's very hard to tell anything for real without being there in person.
Right. I agree.
But we'll keep you guys updated on this one. If we find out more, we'll spin the block to this. Speaking of updates, we have an update on one of the fucking funniest things that's happened this year. Last night, Kendrick Lamar won 4 fucking Grammys for calling Drake a fucking pedophile.
We are less than a week away from him calling Drake a pedophile on national television.
Dog, I saw a funny fucking tweet. I have to find this. Hold on one second. It's regarding that exactly. It said, crazy part, it's from at the boy Jozu, Jozu. Crazy part is, it's not even over yet. He still got to get called a pedophile in front of millions of Americans at the Super Bowl. Yep, we're gonna see. We are gonna fucking see.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what you do if you're Drake, dog. Like, they had fucking Taylor Swift was dancing to that motherfucker. They had Taylor Swift on video doing the stanky leg to motherfucking Not Like Us, dog. Dog, when he went up there, the whole crowd was singing this song. They had a video of the entire crowd saying A minor. What, like, bro, I guess it's a good thing it's happening to Drake, because at least he can wipe his tears with his fucking millions. But that is insane to me. I've never seen somebody get their ass beat in such public fashion for an entire fucking year. And it's not over with yet. It's not over with yet. The Grammys was just a fucking, a preview at what's coming on Sunday, Drake. You're going to be able to fucking open your windows on Sunday night and hear the entire United fucking States saying A minor. Drake is going to be in Turks and Caicos and hear that shit from the U.S. I'm dead, dog.
Did you know he's trying to sue the record company, I think?
Yeah, he's going out in the weakest possible fashion. Two things. First of all, if you are going to get in a rap beef and then turn around and sue over it, that makes you look so fucking soft, dog. Charmin soft. That's like grade A, like
ply. That is 10 ply, brother.
Like pussy, bro. Absolute pussy. Second of all, well, yeah, there's second of 3. Second of all, I'm not, please do not take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to cast aspersions about a group of people. I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic. What I am going to say is, you choosing to resort to suing somebody is not going to help these guys making fun of you, calling you a white Jewish boy. Like, that's not gonna help.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're playing into their hand.
Right.
Like, he's doing exactly what he said he was gonna do.
He's going from out here making songs about motherfucking, oh yeah, my nigga so-and-so bang a set. My nigga so-and-so really bang a set to, hello, Your Honor, I would like to sue these guys. Like, that's fucking crazy. And third, he didn't sue Kendrick for defamation of calling him a pedophile. He sued the record label for promoting it.
Yeah, which I thought was more telling than anything. Like, not only did he sue, but he's not suing for defamation. He's suing the record label for basically endorsing it and promoting it, which is wild.
And what's crazy is one of the things, part of the lawsuits, is he's saying that the streaming numbers were inflated. I think that a whole room full of your peers at the Grammys singing along probably doesn't look too good for that fucking argument.
No, and I don't know if this was still part of it, but I saw something when the news first broke that he was suing, that it was when you when you say, "Hey Siri, play," don't do it. Certified Lover Boy, it plays Not Like Us.
Okay, we gotta test it. Can we test it?
But I don't remember if it's that line or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. We can test it though.
Hey Siri, play Certified Lover Boy. Champagne poetry. Let's say, what if we just, I wonder what song it would play if we said to play Kendrick Lamar. Hey Siri, play Kendrick Lamar. It could be old. It hit us with Luther from the new album. It could be old. It still could have happened at one point though.
Yeah. And I thought that was crazy because it's like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Siri not only pulls from like the internet, like your phone, but it also pulls like the newer ones, like your algorithm. So like if you're listening to Kendrick Lamar often, or if you're like, this is the one song if you only have one song, like it might just jump to that immediately. Right. So I wonder if that had a part to play in it either. But I think the whole thing objectively is the reprieve in comedy that I need from like the rest of the world's shit. Like the rest of the world is not really like the best right now, I feel like, in a way. Like fires over here, war over here, whatever, got shit going on left and right.
Planes falling out the sky.
Planes falling out the sky, tariffs going on, like just crazy, crazy crap, right? I am so excited to watch this Super Bowl halftime. Like I have been so excited for since they announced it. I have been ecstatic. Like, and my big Super Bowl prediction is not of the game. If they do quarterly, if they do quarterly viewership, if they put out the numbers on quarterly viewership, I bet you it's going to be the lowest watched Super Bowl, but the highest watched second quarter. Because the whole damn world's going to turn that shit on to watch Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, but don't give a fuck to watch the rest of the game.
Well, here's what I agree with you. Here's what I'm wondering. I was listening when I saw some of the videos from the Grammys last night, and I was looking to see like if they were going to like mute out anything from Not Like Us. Nope, they had that boy blaring right there. Certified Lover Boy, certified pedophile. Wop, 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 wop. And so what I need to know is, I think the whole country's been waiting to see, is any part of this going to be muted out, or is he going to call Drake a pedophile
on national television
at the Super Bowl?
So if you have YouTube TV, you can turn your broadcast delay off now.
Yes, I saw that. I did that.
So I definitely turned mine off, and it's like a good amount of time. So I'm wondering if that makes a difference on censoring it. Like maybe not in a planned song, but like in a general sense.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering. I want to see. I want to see if it's gonna be the ultimate. Because some people are saying like, okay, will the NFL say he can't do it? If they say that, will he listen to them? Because people are saying they can see Kendrick being the type of person to be like, fuck what the NFL saying, I'm playing that shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think he would do that. I think even if they said don't.
There's been theories that he'll just hold the mic out and let the crowd say it.
What do you do from there? Like, you lock yourself in your billion-dollar mansion and you don't literally leave. Like, what do you do? Like, what cred can you walk out of there with?
I think the only thing he can do left is call Diddy and ask him for some advice.
Hey, what's up, though?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I don't know, man. And the craziest thing about it is Drake dug his own grave. Kendrick literally told his ass, he said, "This could be a friendly fade. We don't have to do all this." And Drake said, "Nah, I'm gonna talk about your wife." And Kendrick said, "Okay."
Yeah.
He said it in another song too. He made a joke about something about being you pacify him, and then he said, I'm gonna leave that alone for now. Random acts of kindness. And then Drake kept pushing. Kendrick said, "All right, I heard you was with them once." I can't believe it, dog. I've never seen somebody get their ass beat in such public fashion with the support of the entire fucking world. Like, Drake was one of the biggest artists I've ever seen before. I mean, people were talking about 100%. Him like being like, and don't get me wrong, I don't agree, but they were saying that he's on like Michael Jackson level. Yeah. And Kendrick cut him the fuck down to a regular dude. Well, I don't want to say regular dude because regular dudes ain't fucking kids. Yeah.
He didn't bring no more. That's Aubrey.
He knocked him down to Your Honor, Aubrey. I'm fucking dead, dog. I can't believe it, and I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does from now.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of hope he tries to release an album, and I hope it just flops.
Were you a Drake fan before this?
I liked the first or second album, like the one that came out in like 2013. Take Care.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, like the classic one. After that, I am not a fan. Like, what's the one album that he released like a few years ago? Views is okay, not like the best, but it's okay. And then there was one. Yeah, is it Certified Lover Boy? That whole album, I didn't like it all.
There's like 2 good songs on it. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say I've kind of like I've had a fall from grace on what my two. If you had asked me like 5 years ago who my favorite rappers were, both of them have aged so poorly, dog. It was a tie at number 1 between Drake and Kanye West.
Well, Spence, you know how to pick them, bud.
And oh my god, I mean, I still like their old music and stuff. I've liked some of the things that Drake has done more recently too. I cannot defend either of their behavior. It has been awful. Yeah. And I'm not one of those dumb blind fans who's gonna go out there and just die for fucking Drake. Like, no, nigga, you got your ass beat, and I saw it. And I bear witness to this. He did, dog. In other news, we had today 2 NFL trade things pop up. We're recording this. I know this is released on Wednesday, but we're recording this on Monday night, so this was said today. But one this morning, Myles Garrett officially requested a trade from the Browns. So for Browns fans who keep thinking that shit can't get any worse, it is. It is.
Yep.
And so yeah, I think he's gone. I know we talked before about like the pick order. Do you remember where they were? Because they weren't even that high up, were they?
I don't think so, but I had it up not too long ago. So I can pull it up real quick. You know, like you said, I don't think it can get any worse for the Browns, but if you're a Browns fan, I wouldn't be saying that because you guys need a quarterback, and you don't want to be signing Aiden O'Donnell or whoever.
That's my point is I don't think that they were high enough up to be able to get, like, Cam Ward or Shador. So.
Oh, no. Not even close.
So, you guys are fucked.
Oh, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe we're tripping.
What are
maybe they're number. So we've got number 2. They got the number 2 pick.
The Browns do? In the 2025 draft? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well,
yeah,
in that case, I'm curious why he'd want to leave. Maybe he's just in win now mode. He's just getting up.
He said he doesn't want to rebuild.
Okay, so you're cool playing with fucking the Predator, but you don't want to play for Shador or fucking Cam Ward. All right.
I don't think this is out of the blue. I think he's kind of had this. I mean, can't really.
Deshaun's been there for 2 years, dog. All I'm saying is
Right.
like, if he had announced immediately, like, hey, I don't want to fucking play with this guy, I think the public would have supported him. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? He's drawing a line in the sand. He's saying, fuck what Deshaun
Right.
Watson's on.
Right.
It seems to me like he just doesn't want to lose anymore. Which I guess, like I said, I'm curious that you would. If you I don't know. Maybe he should be respected for finishing last season. Like, you know, I made a deal with this team. I said I was going to play for him. I finished the season.
Yeah.
Now let me go.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm being too harsh on that. Like, that he didn't just say fuck it mid-season and leave.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I agree with that first point of like, yeah, he should have. You know, if that was. I mean, shit. If I were on the Cleveland Browns, I'd be out in a day. I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't play for an organization that did that at all. Give a contract to Deshaun.
I guess once you start making like statements like that, the word is to end because so many people have done bad shit and are still in the league.
Right. Right.
So I mean, like, so if you say I'm not playing with Deshaun and you go somewhere else, and they're like, well, did you know that your linebacker beat somebody in a parking lot? And you're like where does that end?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with it. And the other part of that too is like, I mean, if you're of the opinion of like, okay, where does this end? Where does it end? I'm gonna ride it out with what my franchise thinks that this is gonna be the quarterback. I'll ride it out. Obviously, it's not. Get me the hell out of here. Who knows? I hope he lands somewhere like, I don't know, the Bears or the Bears.
It's funny.
Or,
the Bears are the first team that popped into my head.
Look.
They were the first team that popped into my head, but I obviously would like to see him on one of the two division rivals, the Lions or the Packers. I think have a good shot to try to get him.
I think a good landing spot would be the Bears. So I was like, immediately my first thought seeing that, I was like, the Bears, now, please, thank you.
Yeah, that would be nasty.
I'm hoping that but I mean, if history repeats itself, it's not happening. But you never know. New coach, new philosophy. We'll see.
You know where it might make sense for him to try to go to? Who I think has the cap space for him, and is an up and coming team that could maybe use an edge rusher or a pass rusher. Huh?
The Commanders?
That's exactly who I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That would make a lot of sense. Hey, yeah. If he lands with the Commanders, y'all heard it here first.
Yeah, right. Or what about the Chargers?
They have Khalil Mack, don't they?
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Is he still in?
Wait, do they have him or do they have? Yeah, no, he's with them.
Okay. I thought. Yeah, and you might be right. And Joey Bosa, right?
I think so.
Whatever his name is. But yeah, I think the Commanders would be a good spot for him too. And I mean, that would be kind of win now,
right?
Ish. More than the Bears, I guess.
Watch, he's gonna fucking wind up with the fucking 49ers. And I'll just be fucking disgusted once again.
Yeah, legit.
And then the least surprising to see pop up on my phone, least surprising thing that I think everyone was expecting. The Rams are going to trade Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And I think that's been coming. His usage was down so much
over
last season. I mean, he was blowing people's parlays of like not getting 40 yards in a whole game.
Yeah, legit. And I think it's surprising in the sense of how, their relationship, him and Stafford, was when Stafford originally came to the team. I think that's why it's surprising. But other than that, you're right. It's not surprising at all. I hope he lands somewhere. But again, you're getting. I mean, he's not that old, is he? He's in his 30s, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey Siri. Okay. Hey Siri, how old is Cooper Kupp? 31.
Yeah. So I mean, he's not old by any stretch of the means. He'll find a spot.
He yeah, he's like the definition of like life comes at you fast. From where he was, what, 2 seasons ago?
Yeah.
Triple Crown winner. I think he set some record for either like yards or catches or something like that. To just completely falling out, getting out touched by like Demarcus Robinson and shit like that.
Right.
Go
What
ahead.
about the Commanders?
I can see that. I saw a tweet saying that they said, I forgot who tweeted it, but basically it was saying that has multiple injuries in his 30s. Sounds like a Tennessee Titan to me.
Facts. That's pretty funny.
Because they had D Hop. Didn't they also get an old Julio?
Yep.
Cooper Kupp, welcome to the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, right. Facts. Wow. That is true.
Let's hit a more serious topic for a second. Did you see the Justin Tucker allegations?
Yeah. Fiercely denying.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, these are allegations, so we're not casting aspersions here or anything like that, but what's been alleged is that Justin Tucker is Deshaun Watson Jr. Just in the sense that it's been a multiple massage parlors and has engaged in inappropriate sexual acts with them. The difference between, I guess, Deshaun and Justin Tucker was the fact that, like, Deshaun was having people come over or going to where they were at, like, in private settings. Mm-hmm. And Justin Tucker is being alleged of, I guess, just being a freak-ass nigga in an actual establishment.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of wild. What's crazy is the fact that these allegations aren't new. They've just now broken. People were pulling up tweets from like years ago. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the oldest one that I saw was like 2021 of people saying like, yeah, Justin Tucker's not allowed in certain massage parlors, but it's not for me to say why and shit like that. Like those tweets have been out there for a while and they've been surfacing since it's popped up. Literally, there's a handful of them from different sources. Like, yeah, just so you know, this guy can't go into he's banned from like 3 massage parlors in Baltimore and shit like that, which is crazy. Stephen A pointed out on First Take, he said, I wonder how long he's been aware that these allegations were coming, because it would explain why he had the worst fucking season in his career of kicking. He's usually a dead-eye kicker, and he's missed so many kicks this season that he'd normally make.
Yeah.
So how long was it because he knew that this was hanging over his head the whole time?
Yeah.
What I think is... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say what I think is interesting about that is that these came out when the season ended, and I wonder which reason that was. Part of me wonders if, like, these were Baltimore establishments. I wonder if, hey, shit, maybe they're Ravens fans, and they were like, hey, let's not fuck the team mojo up this year. Let's not cost our own team a Super Bowl, but let's just wait till the season's over. But maybe not. It's crazy it's taking this long for it to come out, but I think it's 6. I think it started at 6. I think now it's up to 7 different plaintiffs. Or no, it's not plaintiffs. It's people that's the interesting thing as well, is that it's alleged behavior, but there's no criminal or civil proceeding.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too, which makes it interesting, is if they don't sue him, why? And if he doesn't turn around and sue them for defamation, why?
Well, I guess, okay, so like if they don't sue him and he does sue for defamation, I think the allegations are absolutely 100% true at that point.
Why? I'd think the opposite.
Because but here's the thing, like, I think that a lot of women and men, for that matter, don't want to report sexual assault or harassment in a formal setting, i.e., filing criminal charges or civil charges or whatever, because of generally, and I'm not speaking of like one specific area.
No, I mean
or
what you're gonna say is right, and the
Not,
repercussions.
yeah, and the repercussions are pretty harsh. So
right.
like if
people, especially if this fans will, they'll find these people to terrorize them. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. So I feel like that part of it has to be like taken in, as well as, so like if these allegations, like, okay, so Stephen A's like, oh, he's had his worst kicking year. I mean, that was a little bit surprising to me this year too. Like, he's usually a dead on kicker, right? So how do you get the story buried all the way up until now, right? And then if not, if you take that out of the question, why now? Who's leaking it now? And did the team know?
Well, what I guess I'm curious about is, as of right now, where it stands currently, and this is where I was saying this, I assumed, and I could be wrong, that because the story is out and they've said that there's 6 or 7 women, that their names, that they're on the record.
Right.
And so if you're already on the record, like if you're anonymous, that's one thing. But I guess where I'm going is because they have an amount of number that I'm assuming that maybe these are on the record. Like, this is Susie who works over it,
right.
Healthy Spa or whatever, some shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm assuming. And so based off that, if their names are already out there, then why would they not sue? On the opposite side, in my mind, I guess, putting myself in those shoes, if I was guilty, I would want that shit just to go away. If I'm innocent and I know I'm innocent, then what do I have to lose from suing you for defaming me? If I was innocent, I would want to go to court and clear my name. If I was guilty, I wouldn't want to poke the bear because I know that you're going to fucking bring the receipts.
Right, but ego, I think, is a big part to play here, right? Like, you don't just walk into a massage parlor and go, I'm not going to get a massage today. I'm going to sexually assault somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to think about it like, I mean, you're not an asshole, so, like, don't think about it this way. Like, you're not going to be able to. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, it's just kind of ego is at play here.
I don't think that just for because we're putting this out to the public, I just want to clarify. I don't think that the allegations are for assault, just for misconduct. Which I'm not saying is good either. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that he was putting their hands on them. I think he was probably, like, rolling over with his dick out and shit. You know what I mean?
Right, but, like, you don't, like, I guess my point being, like, the moral of my story, you're right. Correct. The moral of my story is, like, ego is a part to play here. So, like, he's a big-time football player. Like, he has more name, he has more recognition, presumably more money than all of these girls, combined. So, keeping your name clean, regardless of the truth behind it or not truth behind it, might be a little bit more forefront to somebody of that nature. Although, albeit, I agree with you. I mean, if you're innocent, you do everything you can to prove your innocence, right? So if somebody's defaming you and you're innocent, you sue them. Like, I'm with you. I see your point there. I think it's crazy that they're coming out now, but these allegations are from like 2016, 2017. So I think that's what I heard, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Happened in 20.
I haven't looked into it.
Like, I read something somewhere that some of the allegations were like from a good amount of time ago, and I'm not saying that gives or takes to any of the truth behind the matter. Either way, I think the NFL blanket should, I guess, I don't know how you would do it, because, like, I don't know how the inner workings of it, though, but, like, I think that the team should have to investigate it.
Well,
like, I think
they probably are. Well, the NFL, they can, and they already have a precedent set of 6 games for conduct detrimental.
Right.
Regardless of what happened. Deshaun settled out of court, he still got 6 games.
Right. So is that why they're coming out now? Like, are they going to go through, like, is that the goal, right? Like, is the goal, like, to go through the NFL, hit him where it hurts, where he's making his money, instead of taking your chances with a justice system that doesn't, usually end with justice, right? Like,
well, you know what? And once again, I'm not saying that something did or did not happen. If I was asked my opinion, though, of what I think happened, I think he's guilty. And I think so because of several things. First of all, and I thought this about like the Deshaun Watson case too, and his was a little bit different because he was bringing in all these people, like, supposedly good massage therapists, whatever. I don't know why you would need to see 60 fucking massage therapists. Like, I would assume that having a massage therapist would be like having a barber. Like, I enjoy when I go to see my barber, my boy Chris. I go, I sit in the fucking chair. He says same thing as before. I say yes. I don't have to tell him what I want. I don't have to say, give me this on here,
right.
Line this up here. He knows. If I'm an athlete and I got the money, I want the same person who knows my body to keep working on me. You don't see you don't see a different chiropractor every month. You see the same one.
Right.
So the other thing too is that if I haven't looked into these as deeply as maybe I should before saying this, but the way that they're talking about it as a massage parlor, like, you're not going to like the top of the fucking line like sports medicine place. You're going into a place that you and I could go into for a fucking back massage. Why are you, Justin Tucker, going into a fucking place with civilians to get a back massage, bro? Right. You've got team massage therapists, and if you don't like them, you could hire somebody else. Why are you going to those places unless you're trying to whip your dick out? And then the next reason that I would believe it is because with as powerful as he is, like you said, if you were to put your mind in those people's shoes and they weren't prepared to sue him, they probably would just fucking kick his ass out and ban him. And then someone found out that happened at multiple places, and that's why this is a story now.
Yes. Yeah. I think of note, just like in respect to the Deshaun Watson and like this too, like, when you find multiple stories that are eerily similar, that have one or two or a central group of bad actors, right? That is a pattern. Like, that is a literal pattern of behavior. So, like, when the whole thing about, like this came out, and it was, like, there are 6 women, or whatever the number is, like, I don't know 6 women in my life that can agree on where to go get coffee. Like, legitimately. So, I always find it hard to believe when there are multiple accusations that are eerily similar against one other human being. I always find it very, very hard to believe that they aren't true, because it's like, and to your point, why are you going to some random massage parlor? You have the best in sports medicine at your disposal. Like, you do not have the problem of money. Like, the team or you can pay for it. Like, you don't need 60 massage therapists. You need maybe 1 or 2. Like, okay, you have one that specializes on this and one that specializes. Okay. Like, be bougie about it. But, like, that many? Really? Like, sometimes, what is it? Occam's razor? Sometimes the simplest answer is the correct one.
I guess the only thing that I will say in fairness is that I don't want to act like people getting together and agreeing on a story to get paid isn't a thing. However, I don't think that it happens as often as people say that it does. I do think that we should be, as a society, more about innocent until proven guilty. I do think that this nigga is guilty. I think circumstance matters a lot. I think that we should always take all allegations seriously, but also investigate them. I think that more times than not, people probably did that shit. I do think that sometimes they didn't do that shit. I think this nigga did that shit.
I think there's sometimes when people didn't do that shit. I think this man absolutely did this. I agree with you. I think the big part there is, like, innocent until proven guilty. And don't get me wrong, I firmly believe that. It's hard in allegations like this specific sub realm of if you will, of crime, just in the sense of, like, it's muddy at best. Grand scheme, not this situation. Deshaun, just grand scheme, it's muddy at best. I'm not going to pretend like that's not a thing either. People getting together to collude to make money one way or another. I will say, though, that's what the investigative process is for. And I think when you have big names, such as we do in these instances, the investigative process becomes that much harder and that much more lengthy, which leads to a lot of people like you and I coming to conclusions.
Well, it's
or people who are more extreme coming to conclusions, and that's when things get out of hand. You know what I mean?
I just think that and like you had mentioned earlier, I think that's a large reason why women often don't report things happening, is the fact that it's he said, she said, and it's really almost impossible to prove. So it's like, especially if you're going after a big name like that, like, how the fuck do I prove that fucking Justin Tucker, Deshaun Watson did this shit? Unless, like you said, unless there's multiple people. And then even then, it's like, it's hard to even get anything criminally to happen, because you've got to have, like, criminal, like, court, like, it's like the burden of proof is on the accuser, and it's like, you've got to, like, overwhelmingly, this is what happened. Civil is usually where people get, and I hate that people fucking, oh, well, they're just doing a civil suit, not criminal, so they can get paid. It's because a civil suit, the burden of proof is, it's only 51%. Like, it's more likely that this did happen than this didn't happen. And that's where if it's a civil case, you're not going to jail because it's not a criminal case. You're just getting financial financial restitution. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's why people sue civilly a lot. And people always are like, well, if they did this and that wasn't, they're just looking for a payday, they'd sue them criminally. And it's like, that's not exactly how this works.
Right.
If we get a civil conviction, then your name forever is attached to the fact that you did this shit, and I get some money back.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas in the other thing about that too is like, criminal case, like, you're at the mercy of the prosecution. Like, if you are the victim in that situation and you accuse, you're at the mercy of whatever prosecutor is in that office, in that district at that point in time, and you are at the mercy of whatever lawyers the defendant can afford, right?
Yeah.
So, generally speaking, if you've got money, you're going to hire the best lawyer, and it might be worse or better than the state's prosecution.
True.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's sad, though.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's sad, though. It's a sad thing to see in the NFL, especially on the heels of the Deshaun Watson thing. So, like, grand scheme, like, not, talking about him specifically or the situation, but just, like, the NFL in general has a really bad rap, I think, for players, specifically with behavior against women. And they better start to do something about it, because, like, it's not going to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Long term. I mean, I don't know. I probably have more radical, views on something like that than most people. But, like, I straight up think that it's wild, some of the things that you can, like, kind of quote unquote get away with as an NFL player. I also think it's wild what you are subjected to as well. Like, that there is an end of that. Like, you fumble a ball and people are calling you heinous things on the internet or what have you. So, like, you're also subjected to some pretty horrific things in a sense. But, like, I do think, like, some of the things that we've seen over the last, I don't know, decade, 2 decades, I don't know, maybe the NFL ought to do something, like, a little bit more proactively in a sense. But they also have a bunch of grown-ass men hitting each other on a regular basis. So, like,
one of the things that Molly pointed out on First Take, she said that after the Ray Rice incident, the Ravens specifically have a zero-tolerance policy. So if if it winds up looking like Justin Tucker did these things, they will cut him.
Yeah.
What I always think is interesting is the fact that, like, that you can cut a player and then they can just wind up on another team, and now you just don't have one of the greatest kickers in the league, and this other team does.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's always interesting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you start, it's it's more complicated than I think it should be ideologically, but like, or I guess not ideologically, but morally. Ideologically, it's more complicated than it should be morally. If you start banning people from the league for doing certain things, where is the line of that?
Yeah,
and
I agree.
How what's the level of not only what the offense is, but the proof that it happened. Deshaun Watson was never criminally or civilly convicted. He settled out of court.
Yeah.
So does he get banned? Even though you never, because that's a tough slope. You can't do more as a business than the law. It gets tough. And that's where I know that they did like 6 games kind of detrimental and a big fine, but at the end of the day, what is that?
Yeah. I mean, nothing, because he's still getting paid, and he's barely playing anything, so. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it is a slippery slope. You're not wrong. However, it seems to me, though, that, like, I don't think it sucks, because the bigger issue isn't really necessarily does the NFL cut, ban, suspend, what have you, player A because of conduct 1. It's more or less, is the NFL going to anger their fans, their main fan base, by doing this?
Well, I mean,
and
that's also a slippery
generally
slope.
speaking, right? And generally speaking, most NFL fans are men, and unfortunately, a lot of the way that, it's the generality of it all is very, like, it's geared towards men. And I'm not necessarily saying, like, that's a super bad thing. Like, in the grand scheme, like, I love football. I mean, it's my favorite sport. I'm not saying that there's women that don't watch it. But, like, to me, it's like, okay, yes, it's a slippery slope. I'm not disagreeing with you. But what does that say to, like, all of, like, the female fans or what have you that, like, are never going to watch again because of something like the Deshaun Watson situation? I'm not saying I'm one of those fans. I could watch it today. But, like, talking grand scheme, talking, like, in the future, as these continue to come out, like, and continue to be a little bit of, like, a thorn in the side of the NFL, it's not just an NFL problem. I mean, the MLB has a little bit of a problem with it too. Not in, like, a super big way, but, like, what do you do when you're trying to gain more fans and you're trying to gain more viewership, and then something like this happens? And you're right, it is a slippery slope. If you say, he wasn't criminally or civilly or whatever, but it's conduct detrimental, where is the line and what is the precedent?
Well,
like,
well, that's what it is. It's 6 games. That's it. I mean, because if you fire somebody or you blackball them from the league for something that was never proven in court, they can turn around and sue you back for unlawful termination and defamation and slander as well. The other thing too is, I think that the NFL is prepared just to do whatever they're going to do because people aren't going to stop watching. Period. As far as we've seen, the most egregious fucking behavior that you can have that won't be tolerated by the league is taking a fucking knee. Colin Kaepernick has not been in the league in fucking years. And you know what? Black people still watch NFL. And black people still play in the NFL. Yeah. So, I think that they're just going to do whatever the fuck they do, and you're either going to get down. You're going to keep watching. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Is the NFL untouchable?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think so? I think so.
They're by far the largest fucking event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're trying to get global.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're untouchable, and no one's gonna fucking stop watching. They've got, you piss off fucking a few people, everyone else is gonna fucking stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They piss everyone off when they do anything. Nick Bosa fucking talks about fucking Trump in a fucking press game conference. People keep watching. The NFL puts fucking end racism in the fucking logo, in the fucking end zones on the back of the helmets. That pisses people off. They keep watching. Like, no matter what you fucking feel, like, they're gonna piss you off in some way, and you're gonna keep watching.
Yep.
All they got to do is make it look like they give a fuck, and those are 6 games, kind of detrimental, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
But they are in a hard spot, and I don't want to fucking defend the NFL because they're a bunch of fuckers and fuck them. But at the same time, it is difficult to expect their investigators and their punishment people, their discipline people, to have more information and to do more justice than the criminal justice system. That's a hard ask of them.
Well, they're a billion-dollar company.
But I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying
you know what I mean? Like,
it's hard for them to hold them to a higher standard than law enforcement.
Right.
And if law enforcement looked into it and they couldn't prove shit, 6 games at that point arguably seems excessive considering Ezekiel Elliott got fucking 6 games and there was no fucking off the field problem. You know what I mean? The NFL was like, you've done too fucking much. Sit your ass down for 6 games. You know what I mean? And they found criminally that the fucking person accusing Zeke had no credibility. You know what I mean? And they still sat him down. So it's like, it's hard because once you start trying to get them to be the decision maker, that's not the business that they signed up for. They signed up to be football.
Right.
It's tough. It's very, very nuanced. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm also just saying it is a lot. For a business that's founded on, you want to go watch some guys hit each other?
Yeah, legit. Yeah. And I think that's where the kind of crazy part is, like, how do you hold them to a higher standard than the criminal justice system when it's literally just a bunch of dudes who hit each other for like 3 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. But like, you're right. You're not wrong. Do you think the Ravens are going to cut him?
I think it depends on how things turn out. I think they're waiting to see what all the investigations look like. Like I said, according to Miley from First Take, she said that they have a 0 tolerance policy, not a suspension, anything like that. So I guess what I'm thinking that if he gets the 6 games kind of detrimental and the Ravens agree with it, then I would assume he's gone.
Yeah, I agree. You know, though, I mean, like the other thing too is like with Deshaun. I mean, like karma got him.
Oh,
I mean, if you were of the party that think that the Browns made a terrible decision morally and, you know, football wise and morally made a bad decision, or if you think that the NFL should have suspended him indefinitely or for more games or whatever, I mean, he's getting his karma. I mean, I don't plays another down.
We talked about that last episode when we talked about him rupturing his Achilles again. And it's like, yeah, if you believe that he's guilty, it sure as hell looks like God is not letting him know peace.
Yeah.
That he got away with it, but he didn't get away with it with God. Like that's how that looks.
Yep.
You have anything else you want to add to this before we go to something a little bit lighter?
Nope. I just hope we never have to talk about it again because I hope it never happens again.
We will.
I know.
We will, but we'll be here to fucking call it out.
Sucks. But yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I
think we need to bring back shame. Maybe if more men shamed guys who like have that, maybe that would help. Just bring back shame.
I've never liked this argument because I feel like I see shit like this on Twitter and stuff like this too, and it's like I think that it implies the fact that like guys be hanging out with their homies and they tell them some terrible shit. We're like, oh yeah, okay. Like I don't think that fucking happens. I don't think that most people know that their fucking like guy friends are doing terrible fucking things.
That's true. I guess that's true.
I hope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna fucking go hang out with my fucking friend and he's like, guess what I did last weekend? And tells me something fucking terrible. And I'm like, oh, you want another beer? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit's not. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that shit's happening again amongst, like, most fucking, I mean, maybe, like, fucking the Epstein fucking circle, they all fucking shared stories like that at the Diddy parties and shit. But I don't think that, like, your average fucking male is, like, hanging out with his fucking friends and just endorsing that kind of behavior.
Saying that, but like you start shaming them after, you know, more shame afterwards, and more like,
well, what can I do other than cut you off?
Yeah.
I was friends with this person who back in Kalamazoo, and I'm not gonna get too fucking detailed with this because of fucking potential legal ramifications, but basically, he was a player for, I'm not sure if he still is, but he's a player for the who's the niggas that fucking do magic with basketballs.
Oh, the Globetrotters?
Yes, thank you. He was a globetrotter, and I was real, huh?
How
Right.
did you describe that again?
The niggas that do magic with basketballs. um. But yeah, I was tight with this guy. And I actually had a party, and he was at the party, and my sister showed up with one of her friends, and they walked into the party, and then walked out. And my sister texted me and told me to come outside, so I did. And her friend was crying, and she was like, saying that this guy was like sexually harassing her at like a club, the friend, right?
Oh.
And right, and I like asked her like a little bit about the situation. I don't want to get too much deep into this shit. I obviously believe she was bawling, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
clearly fucking like visibly upset from seeing this guy, and it's my sister. Like I don't know, I obviously believed it, right?
Yeah.
And so I fucking asked her how she wanted to handle it and shit like that, and I fucking went in there, and I believe I'm pretty sure what happened is I went in and asked him to fucking leave, right? And I never talked to him again.
Yeah.
What else do you want me to fucking... What else? You're saying, like, shame
Yeah.
him. What am I... Like, you know what I mean? Like, she, as the victim, didn't want me to go in there and make a fucking scene about it. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Well, no. I mean, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, more people like that. Like, okay, like, that's not something... Like, you are, like, a stand-up human. So I feel like you might not... Like, I just feel like there's a lot other groups of people out there that wouldn't be as, like, oh, I'm just never going to talk to that person again.
Yeah. I mean, I told our mutual friends, what happened and why I wasn't fucking with them anymore.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I feel like that's all you can do in a situation. But I think that's your average male response. I don't think, and maybe I'm naive, but I don't think that your average man is doing the amount of protecting or enabling by, I guess, maybe omission that maybe people believe that we are.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I hope that's true.
Like, I don't know. I don't think that most people are like, yeah, that's okay. Like, that's just Jim. Like you know what I mean?
And I think there is a whole lot of that. I just think it's more like played off. You know what I mean?
That's fair. What's difficult, I guess, is he said, she said with only two people, no witnesses, anything like that, with someone maybe that you wouldn't have expected that to come from.
Right.
We never talked about it because it happened a while back, but like the Fox Sports allegations, like that's crazy shit going on over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like fucking like Stephen A was talking about Skip on his show, and he was like, look, I'm not gonna fucking say that like this isn't true, because I wasn't there, and it absolutely could be true, and you never know somebody behind closed doors. The man that I knew for so many years, I would be shocked to find out that was actually true. Like, you know what I mean? I think it gets difficult when it's
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna say though?
Well, I guess
when you've worked with somebody for so long, and then that comes out, and you didn't know about it, like, of course you're gonna say, I didn't think that he could. You know what I mean? Like.
But I guess that's maybe where you're coming from though, is more of the sense of you're saying like, if we're really going by like the whole like innocent until proven guilty, or maybe like if you have like a friend that you've known for a long time and you have a stranger that's making an accusation and you truly in your heart believe that that's not something that this person would ever do, it gets more dicey.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's that's what I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, someone might come to me and fucking say like, Buck is a terrible, anything, you know what I mean? And I would be like, well, I've known Buck for this long. That's not the character that I would expect from her.
Right.
It's tough. But lots of motherfuckers are good at hiding shit, you know what I mean? Motherfucking all these serial killers you learn about, motherfuckers seem like regular people and then go home and fucking murder somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people that make this world go round.
It's true. All
different types and shapes and sizes.
So So, let's hard transition. Who do you think's gonna win the Super Bowl?
I think the Chiefs are going to win, but I hope the Eagles do.
Okay.
I think Kendrick Lamar definitely wins, for sure. And Drake definitely loses, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good fucking point. Kendrick Lamar's gonna win the Super Bowl. Score prediction?
27-17 Chiefs.
Ooh. Okay.
Got 2 Super Bowl squares, so I hope I'm in the realm.
I'm thinking. I think you can't bet against the Chiefs. Honestly, I'd be happy seeing either one of them win, just because of the storylines. We're either going to see a three-peat, or we're going to see the greatest running back bounce back season.
Yeah.
Or the greatest running back revenge season.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 24-21 Chiefs.
Yeah.
I've got a small possible surprise for you.
Oh boy.
We had somebody comment on one of our YouTube videos. It was where Ben was. It was the last one. It was where Ben was talking about how the Chiefs cheated.
Yeah.
On YouTube at Sean Topley 1304, he commented and said Chiefs three-peat coming up. And I've responded back and I said, if they lose, you have to come on the pod and then share your cameo on your social media. Deal? And he said deal.
Dope.
So if the Chiefs lose, we're either going to get a random guest that I have no idea who the hell they are on our next podcast, or we're going to cause a tremendous sports curse. when people do shit, say they're gonna do shit, and then they don't do them, motherfucking teams get cursed. Do you remember that the guy who said that Florida State was gonna win, and if they didn't, he was gonna eat dog shit, and he didn't, and they kept losing?
Yep.
What if we're the reason the Chiefs dynasty stops?
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
You know, not all heroes wear capes, Spencer.
Some wear Iowa Hawkeyes sweatshirts and LeBron jerseys.
Correct.
Do you think that Jalen Hurts is going to play well?
Yes, I think he's going to play well. I think the bigger question is the defense going to play well.
Okay. If the Chiefs win, what's the biggest reason?
The refs.
Okay. If the Eagles win, what's the biggest reason?
No, I think if the Chiefs win, the biggest reason is Patrick Mahomes in reality. If the Eagles win, the biggest reason is Saquon Barkley.
Okay. I would agree with... Ooh, actually, I don't know. It's tough because I think if the Chiefs win, I think it's their defense. I think the defense finds a way to shut down Saquon.
Yeah.
And by means of shutting down Saquon, are then able to lock up like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Start in the trenches. I think obviously Mahomes is going to be Mahomes, and even if Mahomes winds up, driving like with the ball in his hand to win the game, still like against the Buffalo game, like defense was able to hold Josh Allen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On all 4 downs. So I think that the defense is going to have to show up. If the Eagles win, I think the biggest reason is going to be. You got a little thing up behind you. We've got an update for you.
What?
On your screen.
Oh, we've got an update.
We got an update for you.
I thought there was a cat behind me. I was like, which one is it now?
If the Eagles win, I think the biggest reason is Jalen Hurts. I think that Saquon is going to be Saquon, but I think that Hurts is going to have to make some key throws at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, the other part of that too is like if it's a close game and everything's running on both sides. Like, does that tush push go up against Spagnuolo's defense? Like, how does that work out in terms of like how it worked out last week? You know what I mean? And now this week, that's what in the Super Bowl. Curious.
That's very true.
Like, I wonder if he's cracked the code. Spagnuolo.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. I'm very curious to see. Everyone thought that, or a lot of people have said that like Jalen Hurts outplayed Mahomes the last Super Bowl, and they still lost.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. All right, last segment, which we're still trying to name. If you're watching this, please help us name this last segment. But this is the funny posts of the week. Buck, you got yours?
I do. Am I going first?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So mine is Kelsey Plum went to the Los Angeles Sparks. So she tweeted out just a short video of her in her new Sparks jersey. And let's see, at Prime Rod, not going to read it how you want me to, it said, how much help does LeBron actually need? That about killed me. I got one more from what we were talking about earlier, kind of. So the Bears hired the former Saints D-line coach, Bill Johnson, at Ryan 3701. He goes, honestly, perfect strap. Give the young, innovative guys on the offensive staff, and then give me old boomers who think CTE is fake on defense. No notes.
That is so accurate, dog. We need geniuses calling up offensive plays, and we need hard-hitting dudes who care about nothing other than the smoke on the defense.
Yes. Facts.
That's perfect. I got at m.brown on Twitter. Trump let the owner of Twitter into the Federal Reserve, and planes have been falling out of the sky, but the most unbelievable thing I've seen all year is an NBA trade. This is directly after the Luka trade.
Oh my god.
There's at Dragonfly Jones tweeted a take on remember Drake said Kendrick just opened his mouth, somebody hand him a Grammy right now. He said Kendrick just opened his mouth, someone handed him 4 Grammys right now. And then I've got one more, which I don't think is funny. I think this is wild. Someone posted a picture, well, it was a video of Sabrina Carpenter drinking out of her flask. And someone at Niki, Nikki Kaga, Caga, Bill Clinton went home to this every day and still decided to cheat. And that's how I found out that some people think that Sabrina Carpenter looks like young Hillary Clinton.
And those people need eye insurance and a new eye doctor. What? I actually got one more. I forgot about this one too. So there is a dude I started to follow on Twitter just because he's doing what he refers to as a Trump hate watch. And it's an Excel spreadsheet of the national average of like eggs and gas prices and then like the stock market and like all that kind of stuff, right? So at Juan Soto hater, love it.
Yeah.
He goes, Trump hate watch week 2. Egg prices soaring, stock market collapsing, America getting booed, Luka traded, and our president is nowhere to be found.
Oh my god.
Luka traded. Dog, I read that, it killed me. I was crying. I thought that was hilarious. And that's how big that trade was.
My last one is at MagicM_MMA bets. Luka Doncic trade the worst since Biden traded Brittany Griner for the biggest weapon trafficker on earth with Russia. Oh my god.
Oh, that's a great one. That is a great one.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the Late Entry Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Double Dose, my co-host, Buck. If you like this, give us a like, subscribe. Check us out. We're doing an episode. We'll be dropping at noon every Wednesday. If you have anything you want to see us talk about, any segments you'd like to see, go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Thank you guys for watching. I'm still laughing at that fucking tweet. You guys have a good night.
Thanks.